And we welcome you to Golden West College, where for the 50th time overall, but the first time here in this campus, it is the annual Battle of the Bell as the Orange Coast Pirates pay a visit to Golden West College to take on your Rustlers. A great Saturday afternoon to you wherever you are. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of it. Rahshaun Haylock here alongside Nathan Percy and the rest of our terrific SportsNetUSA.net crew. The Rustlers coming off of a big win last week down in San Diego County, 47-27 over Palomar. They're 3-4 in the year, 1-1 in Southern League play, while the Pirates are 2-5, 1-1 in Southern League play, coming off of a tough loss to Grossmont. It's simple. Rustlers, with 3 wins right now, need to win out to become bowl eligible. At the very least, win 2 of the next 3 and be in the hands of the committee. Nathan Percy, you come into here with that type of pressure. It was the same pressure that they had last week. They were able to get it done against Palomar. What is going to be a key here today?
Well, we talked with Coach Mitchell, and before the game, he said some of the biggest keys were going to be limiting the turnovers and keeping control of the football and not allowing the big plays, not allowing the 2 big playmakers for Orange Coast College to get going, Nico Jackson and their wide receiver Rutledge.
This one going to be taken by Tim Brown. And Brown down at the 10-yard line, so not a nice job of executing there by Orange Coast as this offense finds himself deep in their own zone to start this initial drive. The quarterback, Pete Mitchell, 66.2% of his passes he's completing this year, 1,287 yards, 7 touchdowns. Freshman standing at 6'4", 220 pounds out of Arapahoe, Colorado. Also a threat with his legs. He has 3 rushing touchdowns on the year and over 100 yards rushing, but 70 carries on the year. So he will carry it, and he does here on the first play. He's able to break a tackle and gets across the 15-yard line. And check that. It is not Pete Mitchell. Actually, Nathan West getting the start here today. 6'3", 200-pound sophomore out of O'Day in Washington. So a curveball right off of the bat from head coach Kevin Emerson. For West, this is just his 3rd game of the season. West wearing uniform number 11 as they take a look over to the near sideline to get the play. First carry of the game for Jackson goes up the middle, and he's going to be stopped on the play after a pickup of a couple by Rudy San Jose.
Yeah, interesting. They're going with West at the start today for Orange Coast College. We were both pretty sure we were going to see Pete Mitchell. Wonder if there was maybe an injury or an illness or something going on with him. But West, big test for him here against Golden West College this afternoon. We'll see how long he sticks with him.
First down and 10 from the 20. Over the middle, West, incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Rexford DeMalziere. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it looked like he ran into the middle linebacker, Avery Jones. Orange Coast College coaches wanting a flag there for contact before the ball got there, but I believe it was incidental, and so that's why we see the 2nd and 10.
They check with me to look over to the sidelines. Kevin Emerson in his 4th year as the head coach, also the offensive coordinator for the Pirates. First time this game has ever been played here. They go with the zone read once again, and West not getting anywhere. Nice job there by the Rustlers defensively. Silas Collins leading the charge there. Left to right, Kyler Hack, Zach Ayler, P.J. Falani, Max Spruill, and Garrett Weichman on the offensive line. It's West, the quarterback. Nico Jackson is the tailback. James Rutledge is a good one wearing uniform number 18. Bailey Wolf and Christian Pryor are the wide receivers. Rexford DeMalziere is the tight end. We mentioned him a couple of plays ago. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, today's going to be a big test for Jason Thomas working against Rutledge this afternoon.
Pressure coming right up the middle. West escapes momentarily. Oh, he got away. A Houdini act there by the Orange Coast quarterback, but finally able to corral him and knock him down to the turf is Sagapolu for the Rustlers. Brings up a 4th down. And the Pirates will be forced to punt it away.
Yeah, good defensive stand there for Golden West, allowing one first down, but then limiting no yardage after that to the Pirates. Golden West had a lot of momentum after last week's surge against Palomar down in Escondido, and it's certainly carried over so far, at least on the defensive side here this afternoon.
Markel Johnson fields this on a run, and he's going to be hit immediately at the 45-yard line of the Rustlers. Enter Joe Pyle. And it was a career night for him a week ago at Palomar. 22 of 31, a season high, 341 yards, 3 touchdowns, tied a season high. He also rushed it 8 times for 66 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. His highest rushing touchdown total since the game at RCC in week 2. Which you were at, partner.
Yep. Remember, I think that was a 75-yard rushing touchdown.
Pyle keeps it now, a flip to the far sideline. A new wrinkle there from the Rustlers. Sheldon White getting the carry there. And they pick up 3 there on that first down play. Nick Siatanuu, the left tackle. Brian McCann, the left guard. Jared Garcia for the 3rd straight game moves from right guard to center. Genesis Kalolo inserted at right guard. And Tavita Sagapolu, the right tackle. Pyle, the quarterback. Tavon Valdez getting the start in the backfield today. We were told we would see Tavai today. And here's a pass to Jones, caught over the middle. He's inside the 35-yard line and down at the 33. Pick up a first down for the Rustlers.
Yeah, it looked like about a 19-yard gain there on 2nd down. Nice little play action, and then the quick slant route run there by the wide receiver. Wide open for the play, and nice open field tackle, but again, a big pickup there for Golden West, who is now in Orange Coast College territory.
Jones, Smith, and Muton, the wide receivers. Melvin Kahunanui, who just went in motion, is the H-back. Pyle out of the pistol. Play fake. A little dump off to the far side. Kahunanui, and a truck there by Melvin inside the 20-yard line. He hit the truck stick, and another first down for the Rustlers.
Boy, they're just letting Joe Pyle be the master of improvisation so far in this opening drive. He's reading. He's got the option every time, it seems like, and that was a brilliant play there to find Kahunanui on the far sideline wide open to pick up a big chunky yardage and another first down.
Pyle, the improvisation skills in full effect here in this first quarter. First down. And they hand it off to Valdez. I think Pyle wanted to keep that himself. Valdez was able to get a couple up the middle. Brings up a 2nd down and 8 from the 12.
Yeah, sometimes those decisions have to be quick, and Pyle, by the time he saw things forming at that second, thought that it was best to go with the running back, but I'm sure he had a little bit of remorse within seconds after that, seeing how wide open the far side was.
4 wide for Pyle. He steps up and changes the play. 10:08 left in this first quarter. Nice drive put together here so far by the Rustlers. Pyle keeps it himself, and he's going to be wrapped around the ankles by Daniel Garcia. Garcia, sophomore out of Servite, 5'11", 230 pounds, led this OCC team in tackles for loss last season with 13 and a half.
Yeah, he was in the backfield pretty quickly on that play. I wonder if that was either a missed blocking assignment or if he just read it well and got past the offensive tackle. But either way, great play defensively by the defensive end.
Valdez now parks to the right of Pyle on 3rd down. Pressure right up the middle. Valdez in the flat, caught, end zone, touchdown, Rustlers.
Once again, not accounting for the receiver going out wide to the right. That was the 2nd time on this drive that Pyle has been able to hit a back in the flat on the far side, and this time it nets 6 points. Pyle on that drive, 3 for 3, about 43 yards. And again, just making good reads. OCC had a couple of opportunities there where they stopped the play for a minimal gain, but Pyle just making good reads on that drive and putting Golden West up early.
Rodriguez to attempt the point after. It's good. That's just the first receiving touchdown of the season for Valdez. Only his 8th catch of the year. And for Pyle, touchdown pass number 11 as it gives the Rustlers an early 7-0 advantage here in this first quarter. 9:21 left. Nice drive they're able to put together after initially pinning this OCC team deep in its own zone. Pirates unable to do anything on that first drive, and the Rustlers with good field position. They started at their own 45, able to take advantage.
Absolutely. The field position game always crucial no matter who you play, and Golden West got the advantage early. The special teams unit going to try and pin OCC deep in its own territory once again, but boy, I'm impressed by the efficiency there on that first offensive drive. It went about 60, maybe a little less than 60 yards, but Pyle orchestrated it almost to perfection, I would say. Every single play netted positive yardage, including a couple of big passing plays on the far side.
A couple of new wrinkles, too. The RPOs, in a way we have not seen them so far this year, as Wojciechowski returns this one back to the 22-yard line for OCC. So they'll have it first down and 10. Nathan West will go back to work for OCC. We mentioned West only played 3 games. This is only the 3rd game he's appeared in so far this season. Only completing 44% of his passes, coming in 7 of 16 for 28 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So they've played Pete Mitchell. They've played Aiden Auer. And Nathan West, now the 3rd quarterback on this roster, and he gets the start here today. West over the middle. Oh, nearly picked off.
Right there, Ryan Raines. Outside linebacker, he read that route perfectly, had his eyes on the quarterback the entire time, and was right in front of it, just couldn't complete the catch.
Robert Siliuta to Atasi Collins, the front 4. Raines getting his first start of the season at Sam linebacker. Avery Jones, the Mike. Rez McKinney is the Will. And in the secondary, Sonatas and Thomas, the corners. Maduena and Howard, the safeties. Raines rewarded for his play last week, led the team with 8 tackles down at Palomar, and was really a force at that Sam linebacker position. And so he gets the start here today, and nearly could have put OCC in some real trouble had he been able to hold on to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, a quarterback with not a whole lot of playing experience this season in Nathan West, but the matchup that you and I think before the game were most interested in seeing is OCC's wide receiver James Rutledge, who had more than 200 yards receiving last week against Grossmont, against Jason Thomas, perhaps the best corner Golden West has this season. Thomas has made some pretty big impact plays against some good wide receivers earlier this year. We'll see how he does against Rutledge in this one. Right now they're locked up on the far side. A handshake between the two of them just now.
I think they're both ready to go. And normally, it's not often that the corners in Nick Mitchell's defense switch sides. Normally one stays on the right, one stays on the left. But last week against Nate Johnson, the star receiver for Palomar, we saw J.T. Thomas switch sides at times to sort of follow him. And we're told today that we could somewhat expect some of the same things to happen in terms of J.T. being able to follow Rutledge from one side of the field to the other. So it should be exciting. And Markel Johnson's another guy who's going to get his shot to guard Rutledge as well. It was a lot of Johnson on Johnson crime last week as he and Nate Johnson, I mean, they really battled one another last week. So there's a clock issue, and that's what the holdup is. Our white hat today is Bob Yoakum.
Well, they had the clock right for a second, but then they started running it, and now they've got to set it again. Looks like we're good to go now.
So 8:39, Yoakum says, put on the game clock, and so they do. And we're ready to go here. West on second down. They set up a screen, incomplete. Ball was thrown way over the head of the intended receiver, Nico Jackson, coming out of the backfield. Expecting to see a lot of screens here today. Rustler defense read that one well.
Yeah, and that front seven for Golden West has been pretty good for most of the year. Been doing a great job of getting past the offensive line and putting pressure on the quarterback. And right there, you just see West kind of release that football a little bit earlier than he wanted to. And Nico Jackson out of El Toro High School was not quite ready for that pass.
Rutledge and J.T. Thomas are lined up at the top of the screen. Our matchup to watch here this afternoon. West, pressure coming, steps up. West going to tuck in and run. Avery Jones, a tremendous open field tackle, stops him shy of the first down marker, and it's going to bring up another fourth down and enter the punting unit for Kevin Emerson's Pirates.
Yeah, and on that play, Rutledge immediately was double covered by Golden West College. They immediately brought the safety over just to help out Thomas, just in case West was looking that way, and I think that was where West wanted to go with the football, but once he saw that there was nothing he could do with Rutledge, that was when he decided to make a run for it for the first down.
This one nearly blocked off the foot of Bartolik. Markel Johnson fields it and picks up maybe 2 on the return. Tackle made there on the special teams by Salvador Ochoa for OCC. And great field position once again to start this drive for the Rustlers.
Absolutely, just beyond midfield, and Golden West moved the football quickly and efficiently in their first drive, and we'll see if Orange Coast College can make any defensive adjustments here to try to slow down the Rustlers here on drive number 2.
Rhino Tavai into the game for the first time this afternoon. Didn't play last week because of the knee injury. His first play, he gets a carry off the right side, and he picks up 1.
Yeah, he looked like he was a little bit slow getting up, but he's going to go back towards the huddle here. Good stoppage there by the left side of the OCC defensive line. I believe the first person to get there was Siafega Umu.
Tavai, the leading rusher on this team out of Salt Lake City, 330 yards on the ground this season. Now lines up to the right of Pyle as we're under 8 to play here in this first quarter. They give it to Tavai in the flat, actually incomplete, as Pyle led him just a little bit too much and brings up a 3rd down and long. Go back to that last drive. We were talking about some of the wrinkles. The RPOs, a much different look than we've seen at any point this season. Really, obviously, a run-pass option, a big part of this Golden West offense, but the execution of it and also just some of the mechanics behind it, the more options for Pyle on that first drive.
Yeah, Mitchell's definitely expanding that for Pyle as Pyle is giving him more reason to trust him with those options.
Under pressure now, and he finds a pressure release. And it's going to be Ratzliff, but Ratzliff picks up 7 and going to be shy of the first down. So it'll be a 4th and 4 from the OCC 47. And we saw this a little bit last week as well. Not James Baldwin, but instead it's going to be Manny Cuevas to do the punting.
Well, you and I both remember that Saddleback game. There were some issues with the punting unit in that ball game.
And OCC returns it to the 25-yard line. There is a flag on the play. And fans, don't forget, Golden West Rustler football on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim, where service and parts is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Check out the alignment, brake, and oil change specials on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Located at the 91 and Euclid, Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports high school sports, community college sports, and education.
Penalty went against Orange Coast College, so this will back them up a little bit. But again, going back to the special teams, you and I both saw against Saddleback 2 weeks ago, there were some issues with the punting unit. Baldwin had a hard time getting the ball off the foot quickly, and 2 of those punts, I believe at least 2, maybe 3, were blocked by Saddleback. Gave Saddleback great field position, and Saddleback ended up going on to win fairly easily in that game, 39-7.
He was out there handling some of the punting during warm-ups, he being Baldwin. but not in there that first time. There's going to be some movement up front. False start against Orange Coast. Also, you mentioned it. You brought up a good point in the Saddleback game when we were there. Him needing to get the ball off a little bit quicker. That's been a point of emphasis for them. And then also, we've talked about it all season long. I mean, he's got a cannon for a leg, but it's the consistency. West looking for Rutledge, and a flag is going to come in as Thomas tripped, and as he tripped, he clipped Rutledge on the back of the heel. Nick Mitchell not a fan of the call.
Yeah.
Of course, a DB coach by trade is Mitchell.
Yeah, unfortunate call there. I'm assuming that it wasn't intentional for Thomas to clip Rutledge there, but Rutledge did look like he had a step on him on the way down the far sideline. A good throw there by West. Might have let him on a little bit too much, but they'll get a little bit of yardage out of it anyway in a first down.
Rutledge averaging over 100 yards per game this season. Has yet to make a catch here today. 7:31 left in this first quarter. That's the first time they actually went his way. West's going to try to run it again, and once again, this Rustler defense gets to him.
Yeah, that front seven is creating a lot of pressure up front. That was an option, and Nico Jackson had some room if they wanted to go to the outside, but West decided to keep a hold of it.
We were talking about James Baldwin earlier. He was in there on that play making the stop. Baldwin had a couple of PBUs last week, although not really used much in the punting game. He was used effectively. There's another one by Baldwin as he bats it right back into the face of West. And that's what he was able to do last week against Romero from Palomar, their talented quarterback. And so Baldwin finding all kind of ways to be involved here for this Rustler team, be it in special teams or on the defensive side of the ball. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 12 for OCC from their own 20-yard line.
Well, one thing that Baldwin does bring is height. He's 6'3", 225 pounds, and when you're trying to throw over that, if he's putting those arms up.
He's coming again, and West is clipped. Baldwin created the initial pressure on the outside to force him in. Didn't quite see who clipped West there that time. Looked like it may have been Ajizu who's going to get credit for the sack there. But he came in and was able to clip West and knock him down at the knees. And for the 3rd time today, OCC will be punting it away. And here's another nice kick off the foot of Bartolik. Fair catch called for and made by Markel Johnson at the OCC 46-yard line.
This defense so far today, by my unofficial estimation, has limited OCC on the first 3 drives to just 6 total yards of offense.
That's getting it done.
Yeah, I would say so.
You got to take advantage of this, right? They're unable to get any points on that last drive. This drive, you feel like you have to take advantage. This is the best field position for them so far today. Absolutely,
and I think the last drive there were just a couple of just missed by a little bit. I know they were trying to go to Tavai on another another flat route to the far side that he just didn't quite have the arm length for. But still, right now, everything ticking and going Golden West's way. This would be a perfect opportunity, as you said, for them to take a bigger lead and try to take advantage of this, or take control of this game early.
Pyle with 4 wide. Keeps it himself, Pyle up the middle. And a nice gain to the 2nd level before being taken down at the ankles by Garcia. But there is a flag on the play. Going to be a hold against the Rustlers.
That was a great read by Pyle, and he left that football in the chest plate of Tavai for several seconds before pulling it back at the last minute and going full steam ahead up the middle for that 5-yard gain. Unfortunately, a holding call is going to bring this one back.
So it'll be a 1st down and 20 for the Rustlers. Jones once again, and Jones is down inside the 40, down at the 39. So we're seeing Jones be a more pivotal part of this offense here today. He had only 3 catches on the year coming in. He's got 2 already here in this first quarter, and we're under 5:50 to play.
Well, that was the exact same route that he ran for his first catch earlier in the quarter. And Nick Mitchell and Joe Pyle might be wise to remember that and see if they can't take advantage of it a couple more times.
Tavai off the left side. And he's going to be shy of the first down marker. He picks up 1, brings up a 3rd down and 2. Stop made on the play for Orange Coast College by Brandon Safford.
Tavai not showing too many effects of that MCL sprain that he suffered a couple of weeks ago. He was chugging full steam ahead towards the left-hand side, so I have to think that he's fairly close to 100% here in this one.
They actually give him forward progress of 2, so it'll be a 3rd and 1. Pyle to White, and White breaks a tackle, but I don't know that he got enough for the first down. And it was a nice job there defensively by Gasper Atencio of OCC.
Yeah, Atencio working against Braylon Mouton.
And if you're Mouton, if you're Mouton, you got to make that block there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You can't allow the cornerback to get through and get to the wide receiver running the screen route there, especially when it's only a yard or 2 you need to gain. Mouton's got to be able to get Atencio wrapped up.
Actually lose yards there. So now it's going to be a 4th and 2. They give it to Tavai. 1 cut, and he makes a man miss and gets enough for the first down and a little bit more, just shy of the 30. Atencio gets in there once again. That time a touchdown-saving tackle perhaps, as there was a bunch of green on this left side of the field for Tavai. But that initial cut, one of the best cuts we've probably seen him make all season.
Oh, absolutely.
And good to see coming off that knee injury.
No doubt. And, give credit to the left-hand side of the offensive line for sealing up the defensive line and giving him the room to cut outside and then cut back up the middle.
Under 4.5 to play first quarter. Pyle looking, has Mouton wide open. Mouton, touchdown, Rustlers.
I can't think of a way it gets any easier than that. Secondary for OCC just forgot about Mouton, the slot receiver, and he just runs a seam route right up the gut, and Pyle finds him pretty much in stride. Easy catch, easy touchdown for Golden West.
This is an OCC defense that you can pass on. They allow 279 yards through the air on the season. Extra point is up and through. Oh, no good.
It was wide right.
Wide right.
Looks good.
It did look good from here. Of course, I had my green and gold binoculars on.
Yeah.
So the score is 13-0. Golden West. And with that extra point miss, it's just the 2nd point after attempt missed on the year by the Rustlers this season. So they'll put it on the tee and kick it off with a double-digit lead here against OCC in this 50th annual Battle of the Bell. Rahshaun Haylock alongside Nathan Percy and our fantastic SportsNetUSA.net crew. The first home game in almost a month for the Rustlers. They haven't played here since September the 28th. Here is the kick, and it's going to be taken by Wojciechowski at the 7. Up the left side, and gets barely past the 20. And that's where OCC will start. You talk about the field position. If you, and so far OCC hasn't been able to flip it, Rustlers need to take advantage of this as much as they possibly can.
Absolutely, and right now the defense is going to come back out fired up again because they just got rewarded by the offense with a 14-0 lead. So
it says 14. The extra point was no good, right?
Yeah, that's what we showed, or at least that's what the official on the far side of the goalpost showed. He immediately waved it off, saying it was no good, but
Here's West in the flat to Wolf.
Maybe we should go find confirmation of that just to make sure we're on the same page here. But right now, you're right. The scoreboard's showing 14-0. But, again, the defense has got to be fired up here to keep working as long as the offense is going to reward them and take the pressure off of them in this first half.
Under 4 to play here in this first quarter. Wolf picked up just 1 on that reception. 4 wide. West looking up the near side and incomplete.
Ooh, almost
tried to go back shoulder there to Christian Pryor, the sophomore out of Lock. But Justin Ford there defensively. And this is a young man who's played well of late, Justin Ford.
Absolutely. I like the throw there by West as well. Nearly, the adjustment nearly made by the wide receiver to come back and make the catch that, like you mentioned, was Christian Pryor, but just couldn't hang on to it. But, yeah, Justin Ford, another guy who's been coming on as of late here in Southern League play. Right now he's matched up once again with Pryor.
West, pressure coming. West, here comes Avery Jones, and Jones with the tackle right at the box. And Avery Jones in the defense scurries off of the field back to the opposite sideline as they come up with yet another stop on 3rd down.
That pursuit by Avery Jones, you see him at 6'1",
like a man on a mission.
235 pounds, like a freight train coming at you. And West couldn't get to that sideline fast enough, still took a big hit anyway, just to gain a 1 yard, and OCC is going to have to punt once again. What an effort here by this defensive unit for Golden West College here in the first quarter.
Jones with an interception and a blocked PAT return for 2 last week. Markel Johnson, and after a little bit of dancing,
Johnson on the return.
Can't get anywhere, and there's going to be a flag on the play. And I think you're talking about trying to flip the field position. Kevin Emerson and company.
This might do it.
This may do it.
On the return, team number 20, 10 yards, first down.
So they get Sonatas with a block in the back. Bob Yoakum, our white hat this afternoon. The umpire, my main man, Jeffrey Taylor Sr., head linesman Brad Claw, the line judge, Jeff Osborne, the field judge, Vincent Huant, the side judge, Joseph Rogers, and the back judge is Greg Fucci. A fun crew. Had a chance to talk with some of these guys before the game this afternoon. Told them last week's crew messed up my dinner plans. So they said they hope not to do the same here today. Meanwhile, here's White with a burst up the far sideline. A first down and more. As he picks up 13 there on the reception, and a first down for the Rustlers as we approach 2.5 to play.
Yeah, we could hear the Orange Coast College coaches right before that play recognizing that they didn't have enough players on that far side. Pyle taking advantage once again.
Roper getting the carry, and he's going to be stopped for no gain. White coming off of a great game last week at Palomar, tied a season high with 5 catches and a season high 51 yards on the ground, or on the air last week for White. 2nd and 10 for the Rustlers. Ball at their own 32-yard line. Roper earned himself some carries in the game last week. And you got to wonder, how's Tavai's health? Seeing Roper in there, especially this early. Quick pass out to the far side. Mouton, a big boy, stiff arm, but he's tripped up just shy of the 45-yard line. Pickup of 12 there, and a first down for the Rustlers.
Boy, Pyle, not even out of the first quarter, unofficially has him, at least I have him, for 120 yards here in this first quarter on 9 of 10 passing. Just making the right reads, finding the right open receiver.
Give it to Roper once again, and they're pushing that Pyle, are the Rustlers.
Roper with the carry.
Right to the dub and G-Dub C near midfield.
46-yard line.
down at the 46. And a pickup of, call it 4 for Roper. Dwayne Roper, freshman, 5'8", 165 out of Pinecrest. And there's an injured Pirate down on the turf. Coming up later tonight right here on SportsNetUSA.net, LA Valley will take on Antelope Valley College. 6 p.m. kickoff. We'll have it for you right here on your home of LA Valley Monarch football. SportsNetUSA.net. And don't forget, Fullerton College basketball returns to SportsNetUSA.net November 8th. It'll be the Fullerton College Classic as the Hornets take on Chaffee College at 7 p.m. right here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Well, hard to believe basketball's already about ready to start.
Incredible, right?
Right? Time just flies.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. A part of me is stoked, and another part of me is like, wow, where'd the time go?
Exactly.
I mean, even thinking about these guys here, I mean, we're already at, what is this, week
game
8?
7?
Yeah,
8?
Week 8.
Yeah.
At the high school level, they're already at week 9. Well, 10 now.
Some teams are already.
Yeah.
Some teams have already finished up, depending on how many teams are in their league.
Being helped off the field is the injured Pirate, Daniel Garcia.
That would be an unfortunate loss. Hopefully he is not too badly hurt there, because he made some plays on that drive that was stalled. Or I'm sorry, he made some plays on the first drive to limit a couple of run plays by the Rustlers. He was pretty solid off the left edge of that defensive line.
Second down play, Pile over the middle. Xavier Smith, look out! Fireworks whenever Ford touches the ball. He gets inside the 25-yard line. And a huge pickup there for the Rustlers.
30-yard gain through the air, and again, you love the work there by Pyle. Wanted to throw it earlier, but stayed patient, waited for Smith to gain separation. Then he throws the football perfectly right into the chest plate. Smith making the catch and turning on the afterburners for a few extra yards after the catch. Great play by the Rustlers.
Smith, 7 catches to lead the Rustlers last week in a season-high 124 yards.
7th different receiver that Pyle has hit in his first quarter as well.
That's mixing it up. Derek Deese is in there at an H-back. They give it to Roper, right side, spin move, still spinning inside the 10. There is a flag on the play, however, back at the 22-yard line. Impressive effort there by the 5'8 tailback.
Well, it's going to be another holding call against Rahshaun Askew. That's at least the second one against him this afternoon.
That's a freshman out of Patterson, New Jersey. The bounce back from UMass gets caught there. And it's a spot of foul penalty. So this will move the Rustlers back. "15 seconds left and counting. Rustlers don't have to get off another play if they don't want.
Yeah, I think Pyle's now realizing
Pyle
that.
now realizes, Coach Mitchell says, easy, easy, take it easy. They run over to the sideline. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. So after 1, it's Golden West 13, Orange Coast nothing. As you're watching Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Rahshaun Haylock alongside Nathan Percy, our operations manager, manning the controls today, Ed Ford, and providing all the visuals for you, Van Vu. Is she Van or Vivian today? I don't know. I didn't get a chance to ask her that prior to the game. So she's got this alter ego thing going on. You got to watch out. I think Van may be okay, but Vivian, you may run into some problems, or is it vice versa? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I heard Van earlier this afternoon, so
okay.
I think we're going with that. This is the first home game I've called with you, so at least this season anyway. So I don't know if I've met the alter ego.
You haven't quite felt the wrath.
No, not yet.
Nice.
I'll try to keep it that way.
You're a smart man to do so. As you see, Brian McCann, big number 66, the left guard, with the pink flowing out of his top and the pink socks as well last Saturday in October. So last time you'll see a lot of the guys sporting the pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. First play is a pitch out to the flat to Roper, and Roper bounces off of a Pirate. Roper still going and down just shy of the 20.
Oh, what a second and third effort there by Roper. He just was not going to go down. And a good gain there after the holding penalty. Takes away half that yardage. They get back to the original line of scrimmage. And, again, penalties are not slowing down this Rustler offense, that's for sure.
He picks up 10 there, brings up a second down and 10. Homecoming festivities going on here at Golden West College as well. Huge game here. You got the bell game going on. You got homecoming going on. First time OCC has made an appearance here on campus. Looking up top, it's Deese! And he comes down with it. Touchdown, Rustlers.
Boy, anything Pyle puts, anywhere Pyle throws turns into something positive today. 12 of 13 now for 181 yards unofficially, and a big 21-yard touchdown there to Deese. That is now the 8th receiver that Pyle has hit today. Remember before the game, we did talk with Mitchell, and Mitchell said as long as we can control that front seven, we do think that there's some possibilities to get in against that secondary, and boy, is he being proven right in this first quarter plus as the Rustlers take a 21-0 lead 45 seconds into the second quarter.
Extra point is good. Rustlers 20, Pirates nothing.
They did take that extra point off from earlier.
They took the point off of the scoreboard. For Deese, that's touchdown reception number 4 on the year. Second straight game he's had a touchdown catch. He had one last week down in Palomar to go along with 3 catches for 78 yards. And Pyle, phenomenal to start this one here today. Add another one to his total.
Hard to believe with as many big plays as Deese has made this season that he would be the 8th different receiver to make a catch here in this game from Joe Pyle. But regardless, Pyle has just been magnificent through the air, making the right reads, and then when he has the opportunity to throw the ball deep, he's throwing it accurately, and his receivers are making plays for him as well. I don't think you can ask for a much better start in this game if you're Nick Mitchell from all 3 phases in this ball game.
A lot of room here for Wojciechowski across midfield. And a late flag comes in. It looks like this one may go against the Pirates. But Wojciechowski's run gets inside of midfield, down at the 47-yard line, of the Rustlers. But it looks like
it looked like there was a late shove there by Peter Chaniatakis, who got a little extra curricular activity against Michael Vayette at the end of that play. And that's unfortunate for OCC because that was the best, by far, the best return for Wojciechowski and the best field position by far that the Pirates would have had this afternoon. As it stands, they're at the 37-yard line, which is still good field position. But it could have been a lot better.
Here comes Wolf up the near sideline. Wolf with the block. And he spun out of bounds inside the 35 and out at the 33.
That's a 30-yard gain on a reverse there for OCC, and now the Pirates, seeing as how the traditional might not be working as well, they've decided to bust out a little trickery here as they go with the reverse and pick up a first down. I believe that's the first first down they've picked up since their first drive of the ball game.
Absolutely. Rustlers had strung together a couple of 3-and-outs defensively, but first time all afternoon, Pirates have been inside Rustler territory, and look at this. A gift. West still on his feet, and West close to the goal line, inside the 5 and down at the 3. Just a mistake there as the ball hit West on the shoelaces. Miscommunication there on the snap, and 11 says, I'll pick it up and run with it. First and goal.
Couple of big runs there. And
Jackson into the end zone, and the Pirates get on the board for the first time this afternoon.
Boy, it doesn't get much quicker than that. OCC needed a response, and they got one there. That second play was rather interesting. It looked like there was early movement, but it wasn't called by the officials. And West, looking like a busted play, found a lot of running room on that near sideline, setting up that Nico Jackson touchdown. Well, despite the touchdown, OCC is going to get flagged for a personal foul.
It's going to be Zach Ayler, the left guard. So as Bob Yoakum said, the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Here's the point after. It is good.
Boy, that was quick. 1:08. Actually, a little over, just a tad over a minute if you count in that the kickoff took a little bit of time off the clock. So about a minute on that drive, and OCC was able to go a little more than 60 yards on 3 plays. Impressive for the Pirates, and this will be the first spot where Golden West is going to have to respond back or battle a little bit of adversity on the offensive side. And again, the defense is now going to have to account for some of those outside runs, especially that big sweep by Bailey Wolf. So with the penalty, they're going to kick it off. OCC will kick it off from the 20-yard line. And that should give Golden West some pretty decent field position with a decent return here.
Baldwin III and Markel Johnson back to receive it for Golden West. It'll be Johnson taking it at the 15. And he gets it across the 30. And he'll be brought down at the 33-yard line, but a late flag comes in.
It looks like he's going to make a call against Golden West. It's the back judge throwing that flag in. Greg Fucci making the call. They call holding, but didn't say who. So Golden West will be backed up to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, they didn't give a number, just said the return team.
Yeah, and again, it was the back judge making that call from way back.
It's a spot foul penalty, so must have been right at the end of the run. This one moves the Rustlers back inside the 25. Quick pass out to White. Sheldon White with a couple of blockers, breaks one tackle, and he slipped. When he slipped it, that right foot went out of bounds. So he gets it up to the 28. It brings up a 2nd down and 5 after that pick up of 5 there from Pyle to White as we approach 12 and a half to play here in this second quarter. Rhino Tavai back in there at a tailback for Golden West. Pyle shovels to Tavai. Dangerous shovel there as it was nearly deflected by a Pirate defensive lineman. You don't see that often.
No, not at all. I believe that was Mason Mataafa.
Had that been caught, that could have gone the other way.
Yeah, he came in busting off that right side of the defensive line, really pushing the offensive lineman back, and that ball just missed the back of that offensive lineman's backside.
5-man front for OCC on this 3rd down and 5. Pyle steps up, wide open is White, far sideline across midfield, and Sheldon White going to be taken down at the 43-yard line of OCC. There is an injured Rustler back near the line of scrimmage. Appears to be one of the offensive linemen. Can't get a number on him from here, however.
It's another 29-yard gain through the air for Pyle, and Pyle has still only missed once in this ball game. It was his 4th attempt. I've got him for 14 completions on 15 attempts, unofficially at 215 yards, as he continues to burn that OCC secondary and find the open man.
You see Derek Deese, the offensive line coach, out there along with Nick Mitchell. Also George Pasco, one of the other assistant offensive line coaches out there as well, as there is some concern. While they check on that, let us allow you to know that you can eat like a champion with Raisin Canes. Bring home a tailgate full of fresh, never ever frozen, cooked to order chicken fingers today. Cooked fresh when you order and served hot, fresh, and just as fast. And make sure you cool off with Raisin Cane's sweet tea and lemonade, served ice cold over Cane's signature crushed ice. Raisin Cane's chicken fingers, 3150 South Harbor, just south of Gisler Street in Costa Mesa. Raisin Cane's, score some chicken on this drive.
You're making me hungry.
Making myself hungry.
Right. Speaking of hungry, Golden West obviously very hungry at the start of this game. Big 20-7 lead early here in the second quarter. Joe Pyle continuing to pour it on in the passing game.
Injured Rustlers, Jared Garcia. Started at center, also plays right guard. Kuma Ofoloto Kuma back in there. Meanwhile, Pyle going to eat it. A huge loss on the sack there by Orange Coast College, and getting to him.
There's Mataafa again, same guy who blew up, almost blew up the pitch to Amata Tavai a couple of plays ago. This time around, he completely overpowers the right tackle on the offensive line and gets to Joe Pyle rather quickly.
Mason Mataafa, 6'5", 235 freshman out of Costa Mesa. So a huge loss. Second and long, Pyle with some running room. And Pyle gets down. And Rustlers want a flag, not going to get it.
Pyle with the carry.
As Pyle slid there and
Goes down at the 48-yard line. Third down.
still took a shot there.
Yeah, he met up with Austin Shull, and those are always difficult to call for an official because once you know, it's hard to tell when a quarterback is going to start sliding. And so if you're already in your motion to go for the tackle, there's not really much you can do if he decides on a whim right there to make that slide.
And Pyle fortunate to bounce back up from that one, similar to the Joe Flacco play we saw on Thursday night. Pyle on third and long, free play here for the Rustlers. Pyle all kinds of time, rolling, just has to throw this one away.
Yeah, smart decision there by Pyle if he's being pressured just to get it out, knowing that your offense is going to get 5 yards and another shot at third down anyway. I thought for a second there it wasn't going to get called. It took them a while to toss a flag out there.
Number 60 in the zone at the time of the snap. 5-yard foul.
Yeah, it's Mataafa once again. This time a little bit eager to get across the offensive line and get to the quarterback.
Under 10 to play, 9:49 left in this first half. 20-7, Rustlers with the ball and the lead. They scored 20 straight to start this game. Pirates on their last possession got on the board for the first time this afternoon. Third down and 7 after the offside penalty. Pyle steps up, and Valdez incomplete. Little back shoulder throw there from Pyle to Valdez, and the tailback coming out of the backfield just wasn't ready for it. Hit him in the hands. He juggled it a couple of times before it finally fell to the turf. Fourth down, Golden West, and enter Manny Cuevas to do the punting.
Yeah, again, it still nearly made the catch. He had a hand on it. For Pyle, just the second pass that he's missed this afternoon.
Wojciechowski, fair catch called for and made
Wojciechowski calls a fair catch.
at the 18-yard line.
Ball spotted at the 18-yard line. First down.
Golden West Rustler Football on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Save with new car specials with factory rebates of $2,000 on select 2017 Corollas, including the LE and Special Edition models. On the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com, located at the 91 and Euclid. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports high school sports, community college sports, and education.
Another score update. Fullerton College in the second quarter leading Palomar 28-0.
Shocker.
Right.
A little quick slip screen to Rutledge, and he spins his way forward across the 20. First catch of the afternoon for Rutledge. So we've been talking about that matchup. So it's our matchup to watch. Rutledge, number 18 in white, going up against number 2 in black, J.T. Thomas for the Rustlers. 9:15 left in this first half. Four-man front for the Rustlers. Here's Jackson, one cutting through the gut. Just shy of the 35-yard line, a first down and more.
Goes down at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, they haven't been going to Jackson much in this first half. That's just his third carry. But the last two have gone for a touchdown and now about a 12-yard gain to give OCC a first down. Most of the running so far today has been done by the quarterback, Nathan West.
In case you're just joining us, it's Nathan West who has gotten the start at quarterback here today. And West taken down in the backfield by Tyler Vaimaona. Take a bow, young man. Vaimaona back in the lineup this week after missing action last week against Palomar with a knee injury. Making his presence felt there. A loss of 3 on the play. Brings up a second and long for the Pirates. Quickly they come back. Here's West looking for Rutledge. Jump ball and incomplete. Official threw his hat, meaning Rutledge was out of bounds and came back in and touched the football, but because he didn't maintain the possession, not going to be a penalty, but a nice job by J.T. Thomas using the boundary as another defender there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost as effective as a double team.
Absolutely.
Rutledge out for this play. Thomas now going one-on-one against Christian Pryor. Near side.
8:03 left and some movement up front. One Rustler moved and another Rustler moved.
Yeah.
Siliuta moving first.
Yeah, and then Roberts thought that the play was going and completely went around. But Siliuta, I believe, should be the person that the penalty is called on because he was the one who moved first and went to the neutral zone.
So after that penalty, going to bring up a 3rd down and 8.
Now, Rutledge tried to come back on, but he was told that he had to get back off for one more play. So once again, Pryor versus Thomas on the near side.
Ball at the OCC 36-yard line. Over the middle, Wolf in and out of his hands. McKinney was almost there to get it off a deflection. Instead, falls incomplete, brings up a 4th down. And OCC will be forced to punt it away.
Yeah, Wolf didn't think that pass was going to come in as quickly as it did and tried to adjust and bring the hands up to make the catch, but popped back out. Nearly another short field there for Golden West.
Bartolic to kick it away. Markel Johnson backpedals now, comes up and catches it at 28-yard line, and he's hit by his own man. McKinney takes him out as soon as he makes the catch. Or, pardon me, that's Hargo there taking him out as soon as he made the catch.
McKinney shoved into Johnson as well by OCC's Tim Brown. Johnson, I don't believe, ever called fair catch, so legal and a little bit dangerous there if you're Golden West.
He tends to walk on the wild side with these punt returns.
Well, he's had a couple of good ones, if I recall, early in the season. As long as he gets past that initial wave of defenders, usually he's able to find some room and create space for himself.
He can certainly be a weapon in the return game. Powell started 1st and 10 from his own 25. It's Roper getting the carry, and he's going to be hit immediately once he gets to the line of scrimmage. Umu, a freshman out of Mater Dei, with the stop, leading the charge there for the Pirates.
Daniel Garcia, number 94 in the white jersey, back on the field after suffering what appeared to be a knee injury earlier. So good to see him back in at left end on the defensive line for OCC.
Safford also pitching in to make the stop there. 2nd and 9. Here comes Xavier Smith in motion to the bottom of your screen. Lines up in the slot. Pile, pressure coming, hit as he throws. A dangerous jump ball. Smith catches it, but out of bounds. Brings up 3rd down.
Yeah,
Pressure came off of that backside from OCC by the linebacker Capono Leguisan, another freshman out of Mater Dei. Leguisan, an interesting story. 50 tackles, 20 of them for a loss as a senior at Mater Dei.
That's getting it done.
It's getting it done, huh? Efficient.
It's a way to disrupt an offensive rhythm.
Pile on 3rd down and sacked.
Daniel Garcia.
4th down.
Just telling you, he's made an impact on that left edge there, and he showed it right there. OCC has to be extremely pleased that he's able to get back on the field to help out, and he certainly was on this 3-and-out.
Yeah, in these last couple of drives, we're starting to see what Nick Mitchell was talking about in the sense that this isn't a very big offensive line for the Pirates, but they're very fast and quickly been able to create some havoc as this ball went off of a Pirate, but the fortuitous roll to Wojciechowski, and he falls right on top of it. Kahuna Nui was there. He had a chance to get to that ball, but Wojciechowski got there first, and it'll be 1st down and 10. OCC right at midfield. Looked like the first person there was KJ Walker, the safety. He was blocking and had his back towards the play. Ball hit him right in the back, but heads up play by Wojciechowski there. 6:13 left here in the 2nd quarter. 3 wide. To the top of the screen, 1 to the bottom. They throw it in the flat, pass called Wolf, a double pass, wide open. It's Rutledge, and he missed it.
Oh, my.
Wow.
There is a flag on the play at the OCC 47, but wow. Wide open to no doubt your best receiver, and Rutledge unable to make the adjustment to get to the football.
Talking to Junior Tagaloa, the wide receiver coach for OCC, earlier today.
Number 8, 5 yards from the flat. That's spot of the second pass. Lots of down. 2nd down.
Wow,
So
okay.
it wouldn't have mattered anyway. It was a legal forward pass against Bailey Wolf, the wide receiver.
Yeah, and I think the reason they're calling that is because it looked like the first pass might have gone ahead a little bit before he made the second throw. So add a little insult to injury there, unfortunately, for the Pirates. But, man, the play itself, if you're Rutledge, how do you not find a way to get to that football?
Talking to Junior Tagaloa, the OCC wide receiver coach for the game, he said his goal normally is just to get Rutledge to halftime. They looked his way once again, a catch, and oh, what a stiff one, but a fumble. Ball's poked out from behind and recovered there by Avery Jones. Should be Rustler football without a doubt. Jones comes out of that scrum with the football. No signal yet.
Boy, it was a stiff arm to J.T. Thomas, and then Rudy San Jose was the guy who poked it free, and I believe it was Avery Jones who got on top of it for Golden West. So great defensive effort to help pick up J.T. Thomas after Rutledge got to the football, but it'll be interesting to see what the flag is here. It's resting at the 41-yard line of Golden West.
3 tremendous plays on that sequence. The stiff arm, first of all, by Rutledge. Grown man game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the poke from behind by San Jose, and then Jones fell right on top of it.
Offense, number 4. It's declined. 1st down for
Big turnover there for Golden West, just as OCC was starting to gain some momentum.
Number 40, Avery Jones, credited with the recovery.
And for Rutledge, his second reception, but boy, that's going to play with it. That's going to mess with his psyche a little bit as this game continues. And you were just talking about the fact that OCC and Coach Emerson just tries to get him to halftime.
Yeah, and speaking about James Rutledge, Coach Tagg say he just wants to get them to halftime because sometimes maybe that focus isn't all the way there in the second half as it is in the first half. Meanwhile, here's Pyle on the keeper. And check that. That's Johnny Buxa at quarterback making his first appearance today. So Johnny Buxa across midfield. A first down and more inside of OCC territory. 1st and 10 Rustlers at the Pirate 47-yard line. 5:39 left here in this second quarter.
It's a nice little 16-yard gain there by Buxa, and he had the defense fooled because they thought he was giving it off to the running back.
Buxa hands it off to Tavai off the right side, breaking the tackle, trucking another Rhino. You see where he gets the name from. Down at the 40.
Oh, and that was Andrew Smith, the unfortunate recipient.
Going to move it back, holding against the Rustlers. Books at 236 yards through the air on the season. This his 6th game of the year. Didn't play at all last week. Check that. He played late in the game last week against Palomar. First and 20. Pressure coming. Buxa, Ratzliff caught. 45-yard line, a stiff form. And Ratzliff down inside OCC territory at the 43.
14-yard gain through the air. Boy, Buxa just zipped that one in there, didn't he? Great throw there on 1st and long. And he cuts that yardage by well more than half.
Pickup of 13 there. Brings up a 2nd down and 7. 4.5 left in this first half. Pistol set for Buxa. Sends White in motion. They give it to Tavai, who tries to get outside. Made one man miss, but he's going to be tackled right at the sticks. No gain. 3rd down, Golden West.
Yeah, tackle made there by Josh Nelson from the safety position. Looked like he was favoring his right arm a bit as he got up, but he's back in there.
D-split alone, the bottom of your screen. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. Buxa looking left, pressure coming. Going to roll that way, throws it on the run, and it bounces to the intended target, Braylon Mouton. And it'll be 4th down.
A good idea, and Mouton was trying to come back a little bit to help Buxa out with that throw, but Buxa felt the pressure coming from behind and made the throw a little bit too early.
It's a hard throw.
It is a hard throw to make, first and foremost.
Going to his left.
Against his body.
Right-handed quarterback.
Yep.
So Manny Cuevas will come in to punt. Wojciechowski parks at his own 10. 3:41 to play. Wojciechowski calls for a fair catch at the 15-yard line. Rustlers will be back in action next week. 1 p.m. kickoff down in San Diego as they take on the Grossmont Griffins. That will be an audio-only broadcast for you right here on your home of Rustlers football, sportsnetusa.net. Nathan Percy, you'll be on the call for that one.
He'll be down there. Should be a good one, too. Grossmont coming up with a big win over OCC last week, 37-35, coming from behind to win that game.
I'll tell you what, Rustlers need to exact a little revenge against the Griffins. Somewhat of an unexpected loss to them last season. Hurt their fortunes. And this one nearly picked off, but actually going to be caught there by the tight end, Demasier. A nice grab there by Rexford Demasier.
With the completion.
Pick-up of 3 there.
Yeah, quick pass there from West just immediately as he got it. Demasier going 3-4 yards up and just turning around to make the catch. But Golden West recognized it, nearly got to him before that ball came in.
West looking far side and escapes. Another Houdiniac by West, but this time he slips and unable to pick up those extra yards. And look out, we have a little pushing and shoving between Tyler Vaimaona and the wide receiver Hal Walker of the Pirates.
Boy,
after the play there.
You could just see West feeling the pressure immediately, on his toes, just kind of looking for where he needs to run to escape. Started right, but that got bottled up. Somehow he slipped underneath a couple of players and made his way left, but couldn't keep his footing.
So actually lost a couple there. Looks like they made...
First snap, false start, number 1, 5 yards, 3rd down.
So they lose a couple of more. Nico Jackson pats his chest as if to say, my fault. He's the guilty culprit of the false start. So 3rd and long now.
Yeah, for OCC, you did not need the additional 5 yards tacked on. Again, this was a team that started to get some momentum with a quick drive early in this quarter, but just as quickly, the defense for Golden West has taken it away.
West, play fake, looking far side, pass caught by Demasier. And Demasier breaks the tackle, and there he goes!
Boy,
across the 45 and down just shy of midfield. What an effort there from Rexford Demasier.
Well,
a late flag comes in.
And I think that flag might be going against Golden West as well. Huge play, and Golden West had 2 or 3 players there trying to wrap him up, but instead of taking him down, it looked like they were trying to strip the football instead, and that allowed him to break away and gain an extra 15 yards or so. And it looked like a Golden West. Oh, okay, I was going to say they're waving off the flag, but it looked like Golden West might have had a little extra shove as he was trying to get up. But I believe it was unintentional by Baldwin, and so I believe that's why they're calling off the flag. But still, huge mistake by Golden West to not wrap up and just bring him down for a minimal gain instead of trying to strip away the football and allowing him to escape.
Huge numbers for Demasier at Brethren Christian. Set the Orange County single-season record with 21 touchdown receptions and the career touchdown record with 40 touchdown receptions. Over 1,200 yards receiving last year as a senior. They go to him again, breaks another tackle, and then takes a shot right in the back at the 45-yard line of the Rustlers.
It looked like Gaiman Howard on the tackle there for Golden West, but still Demasier making catches. Another 9-yard gain will make it an easy 2nd down and 1 as the clock continues to tick. A minute to go here in the half.
Tell you what, any kind of points here for OCC will be huge for the Pirates.
Considering Golden West will get the second half kickoff as well.
Under a minute to play in this second quarter. Taking a lot of time here, the Pirates. West looking near side, has Walker, and he overshot him. Ball thrown over his head. He found a little soft spot there with that too high safety look from the Rustlers.
Yeah, Walker ran a pretty nice route, found some open space, but West overshot him just a little bit. Put a little bit too much mustard on that hot dog.
3rd and 1 from the Rustler 44-yard line. 39 seconds left. First half action here. The Battle of the Bell, the 50th edition of it. And West trying to find somewhere to go. Vaimaona was the first to get to him. He had some help as well in the form of San Jose, but a huge sack there for the Rustlers. A loss of 3 by OCC, and a timeout comes with 26 ticks left in this second quarter.
Yeah, and a missed opportunity there by West. He had Christian Pryor with his hands up, screen route looked like, or just a flat route to the near side, and Pryor had no defenders next to him. If he goes to Pryor, Pryor might have had the ability to run upfield for a first down, but West did not spot him, and before he could do anything with it, he was swallowed up.
Huge sack there for the Rustlers. So timeout taken by Orange Coast. It is their first charge timeout of the half. They'll have 2 left with 26 seconds left. In terms of a play call here, where do you think they go?
It's difficult to say. You wonder if they're just going to try and get the first down first and then take the shots down the field, or if they're going to take the shot. My guess is they're going to do enough just to get the first down, maybe try to get a receiver out of bounds to stop the clock, and then take another shot or 2 down the field with a considerable amount of time left, considering the field is pretty much split in half here. 26 seconds can get you a good 4 or 5 plays.
If you're efficient, which this Pirate offense has not been for the majority of this first half. But they do have 2 timeouts, so it gives them a little bit of breathing room. West checks his wristband for the play. 4th down and 3. Play fake. West rolling, near side, rolling, sacked! Avery Jones with the 4th down sack at midfield. Turnover on downs.
Well, and Emerson's kind of getting into his quarterback there a little bit as he comes off the field. Great job in the secondary by Golden West to limit West's opportunities downfield. And Avery Jones, that pursuit by Avery Jones at the linebacker position is probably one of the best in the Southern League.
And not as intense as you'll see Florida State Jimbo Fisher get into the face of his quarterbacks, but Emerson really in the face of West right now. And they're going to continue the conversation as Emerson doesn't agree with or understand what West's discrepancy was on that play. But situation like that, you can't take a sack on 4th down.
No, not at all.
Your team a shot. Meanwhile, it's going to be first down for the Rustlers right at midfield. And the quarterback will be number 16, Joe Pyle. So Pyle back in there after Buxa got 1 series. 4 wide. Rustlers with all 3 timeouts. Pyle going to keep it. Gets to the 2nd level, close to a first down, but be about a yard or 2 shy, actually 2 yards shy. So the Rustlers will take their first time out with 17 seconds left.
Yeah, Pyle's walking off gingerly on that right foot. He was kind of clipped at the end of that play as he was brought down, and so that might have to force Mitchell to bring Buxa back in to finish off the drive. But Pyle got up immediately and was limping over towards the sideline with a little bit of help from one of his offensive linemen.
It's not what you want to see if you're a Rustler fan. Joe Pyle coming up a little bit lame there.
Especially considering all the quarterback injuries the Rustlers have had to deal with this season, losing their starter for the year in the first game of the season, and losing their backup in the same game for a few weeks with a separated shoulder, if I remember correctly.
Johnny Buxa, yeah. And that allowed Joe Pyle to take over. It's really been his job for the most part since then.
Well, he's back in there, but again, he still looks a little ginger as he's trotting back out towards the field.
Jones is split wide to the bottom of the screen. 4 wide for Pyle on 2nd down. Pressure coming. Pyle over the middle. Sheldon White caught 35-yard line inside the 30. A first down, and the Rustlers going to take another timeout. So it says 12 seconds left, but let's see if they adjust it again. I think that's what the discrepancy is. Bob Yoakum getting an earful from the OCC sideline about how much time should be on the clock. And Yoakum says, I get it, I'll adjust it.
On the game clock. Please reset the game clock to 10 seconds. Thank you.
So they put 10 on the game clock.
They took away 2 seconds there.
Well, it's 14 to start. You got to imagine that play took a little longer than 2 seconds.
Right, yeah, that's true.
Hey, but credit the hometown clock here, right? You
Yep.
play your games at home, and you hope to have such advantages in that situation.
They haven't had the Golden West College home field advantage until last year, so,
And ever in this game,
exactly.
Right?
So, you got to see what you can get away with.
20-7, Rustlers trying to add a few more before they go in the locker room at halftime. Ball at the 28-yard line. From here, it would be a 45-yard field goal. Saul Rodriguez, in case you're wondering, his longest on the season is 42. So they need to get a couple of more to get into that range. Pyle takes the snap, rolling, got to get rid of it. He does, and he finds a man downfield. That's Jones again. And Jones is out of bounds. He has enough for a first down. And with 5 seconds left, they're going to send out the field goal unit. Actually, they mark them out just shy of the first down marker. So to bring up a second down and short, but
boy, how big has Jones been in this first half?
He's been huge. And he came in today with only 3 catches.
He's at least matched that.
And he's got 3 here in this first half. Here's Rodriguez. This one from 36, and he shanked it.
Well, not exactly the way you wanted to end the first half. Credit to Pyle and the offense for giving them an opportunity to tack on 3 more points, but not sure if that was the hold or if that was just a mishit there by Rodriguez. But either way, that one was well off to the left. And OCC is wondering, well, they're showing 4 seconds on the clock. They said it was halftime. They didn't really start the clock immediately as the play started. But either way, you had some great momentum early on from Golden West, and it kind of faded a little bit as the half went on. OCC grabbed some momentum with a quick 3-play, 60-some-odd yard drive, but again, their momentum also went away very quickly. So it's going to be tough to tell exactly who's got the edge momentum-wise going into that second half, but Golden West will start out with the football.
You wonder what happened on that. Was it just a missed kick there by Rodriguez, or the hold, or there's so many moving parts?
Right. I mean, the snap looked good. I'm not sure exactly how the hold played out. But either way, either a hold or the kick itself, something went wrong there for Golden West at the end of the half.
So both teams are taking into the locker room for halftime. Rustlers with a 20-7 lead. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll talk to one of the dignitaries here at Golden West College about this festive atmosphere, homecoming, and this 50th annual Battle of the Bell. Halftime here at Golden West Field. Rustlers 20, Pirates 7, as you're watching Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net.
On game day, football players aren't the only ones suiting up. Our crew's ready for any play.
Yeah, can I get 1 box? Extra sauce and toast. Hydrated Idaho, Idaho. Tailgate to go.
So that's a box combo with extra cane sauce, Texas toast, fresh squeezed lemonade with crinkle cut fries, and a 25-finger tailgate?
Nailed it!
Football's just part of who we are. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Welcome back to Golden West Field. Halftime here. Rustlers on top of OCC, 20-7 in this 50th annual Battle of the Bell. Rahshaun Haylock here with you, and I'm pleased to be joined now by Frank Sirioni, the Director of Student Life and Leadership Development here at Golden West College. Director of Student Life and Leadership Development. That's a lot. That's a mouthful. Explain to some of our viewers at home a little bit about what goes into such a prestigious title.
Oh, I don't know about prestigious, but it's a wonderful job to have. I'm responsible for overseeing our campus life programs, which include student government, student activities, leadership workshops, and really just getting our on-campus student population to really be engaged. If you think about Golden West as a community college, definitely has a commuter base. So imagine all the time students spend outside of the classroom. How can we keep them here? How can we have them really feel like they belong to this college? And so we create that environment for them.
having gone to a commuter school myself, Cal State Northridge, there are a lot of challenges with that. What are some of the biggest challenges for you facing that with this being a commuter school?
I think in my observation, it's that our students do so much. If you think about the community college student today, a lot of them are working one or multiple jobs. Students are trying to be responsible for families. They're working, both at home and away. And so to look at their schedule and say, how can I make sure that your academics are your top priority, right? We want you to either earn your associates or transfer to a 4-year or earn that certificate and still be able to experience college life. And so I think for us, scheduling has been big. We're really trying to meet students where they're at. So programming around the lunch hour, making our student center really a home base where students want to come together to congregate and meet and discuss. And then actually I think we're really trying to meet students also at the evening. We have an entire population of students who we're not serving that well yet. So we're going to do that. We're going to really make sure we have evening programs. And then after that, I think lastly, we really want to know what they want. And so we're doing a lot of survey, a lot of focus groups, really asking students what makes this experience important for you.
Frank Sirioni, the Director of Student Life and Leadership Development here, joining us at the half on SportsNetUSA.net. Tremendous atmosphere here today. Obviously, the rivalry game speaks for itself, the 50th Annual Battle of the Bell. But nice tailgate here put out by the students today. What went into that? How are you able to make this thing happen this morning?
Yeah, it's an incredible effort. Our students are really remarkable. The Associated Students of Golden West College, ASGWC, that's our student government organization. They have a lot of legislative art, but they also have a programming body called the Activities Committee, and it's about 25 students, and they've been planning since I met them in August. They were thinking about what would go into getting students hyped up, and so they put time into recruiting a really awesome student DJ who was really spinning some good beats.
He's a student?
He's a student. That's DJ Maximus. I'll give him a plug. But he's a student from Golden West, and so we love giving him business. But the students were really talking about wanting to create it where students want to. So they got some food out here. They had a photo booth. And then they really surprised me. They got these awesome rally towels that we've got out today, these golden rally towels with Go Rustlers. We've got boomsticks that you can actually hear right now. And, they just wanted to make this feel like the big homecoming game that it is.
Homecoming here for the Rustlers today. 50th Annual Battle of the Bell. Frank Sirioni, the Director of Student Life and Leadership Development, joining us here at the half. And papers flying all over the place. Got that Huntington Beach breeze here hitting us here inside the booth. Talking about the ASB students. First of all, shout out to DJ Maximus. When I parked, I'm walking in. He's got the Tupac going. I feel ready. I feel like it's a game day. I'm all pumped up. Putting this together for as long as they have, what was your goals just in trying to be there and encourage them and assist them as they tried to put this on?
Well, we have phenomenal staff, so I'm also going to give a shout out to Therese Grande, Dennis Nanez, and Mary Avalos. Those are our advisors, and what they were looking at, number one thing is be present. We want students to be here, and so we really wanted to communicate it. We had mentioned earlier off air that we have a new Golden West College app. You can actually go to the Android store, the iTunes store, type in Golden West College, and that app is actually the one-stop location now. Any student can view all of the events for the entire semester, the entire year. We're really trying to plan into spring. And so getting it first into students' hands, quite literally, right? Sending out notifications, letting them know to be here to save this date. That was number one goal because, again, with so much to do, we really wanted students to know that this was important to the college and to the team. After that, I think it was just how do we create that community connection, right? Golden West College is a community college. We're based for Huntington Beach. So making sure that the fans, for the families, for the community members, really knew that they can come out here. And so it may not be known, but ASGBC, those students, they have a budget each year. They actually paid $50,000 to rent these stadium bleachers for the season. They paid $50,000 to pay for those scoreboards. So they wanted to show fiscally that they believe in this team and wanted to invest in this stadium so that we could do this. And we're going to do this more often. We're going to hopefully sustain this for, I think, the rest of all time is really my goal.
How has this played with the students and on campus, this being the on-campus stadium and not just a fly-by-night type deal like it was last season, but for an extended period of time throughout the course of one season? What's been the reaction?
It's school spirit. It really resonates with students. And I mean, I'm going to say I was a graduate student out in Ohio, and so I got to work at Ohio State, right? And I went to the SHU. I think it's 110,000 people. And you can imagine all of that energy. And so that's what students want here. They want that energy. They want that school pride. And so even on campus, to see more Rustler swag, T-shirts, hats, you know, these rally towels, I think you'll see them tucked into people's pockets. I think that students think, oh, community college, it's a junior college, it's not the 4-year. It is. It's maybe more than that. It really serves all students. So I think having a home football game or a series of them throughout this season and the upcoming seasons is really just defining us as a place where you can be after class and on the weekends, and that there really is a collegiate environment. I mean, these are great student athletes who have been competing for championships, and so I think that recognition is deserved.
There's all kind of swag throughout. I mean, you talked about the towels, the boomsticks that they were giving out, the pom-poms. This is a fresh shirt, by the way.
Hawaiian shirt with the GWC logo built in. Nope. I mean, we got a shout out to our marketing department. We got this. Our president, Wes Bryan, is wearing it today, and so you can look for him in the audience. But I think that's good, too, is we didn't talk about, but there are administrators here. There are faculty here. There are staff members. I mean, this is really people coming together to support our students, and I think that's recognized. We know that in actual research, students who feel supported can be retained at college, can persist, and can graduate.
How much, I know so much talk is about the student involvement and, you know, football obviously being a big part of that. How much is the football team actually incorporated in some of these decisions that are being made? Like, are these guys being consulted at all? Or are they kind of cheerleaders for the ASB in a sense? What's that dynamic
like?
It's
definitely like that. I remember last semester, so I'm actually new to the college. I joined in January, and we had a student named Carrie Redblar who was really committed to making sure that our athletes were heard. And so ASB meetings, Associate Student Government meetings, are actually open to the public. So any student can attend at any time. They're 8:45 in the morning till 11, so I know it's a little early, but the football team actually showed up to, I think, 3 meetings over the course of spring to fall semester, and they made their voices heard by telling our student government what it would mean to fund this project. And I know that was a big decision, right? We talk about $100,000 total to kind of put this together for the stadium, the bleachers, the scoreboard. And so we heard them say, imagine the home game being at OCC year after year after year. You know, we don't have
It was awful, let me tell you.
We don't have our locker room. We don't have our fans. We don't have a tailgate. And so it's really meaningful to play at home, and there's an advantage to that.
I mean, you walk in there and it's just orange and blue painted everywhere. As the proud home of Rustler football for the last, where are we now? It's now year 9, year 10 for us, having to go there each and every week. I mean, the facility's nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not. You don't have something to call your own, and this provides that for these Rustlers. Give the folks at home the information about the app once again.
I would love to tell you, Golden West College app. It's that easy. You're going to type that into either the Android Google Play Store or the iTunes Store. Golden West College. It's going to come right up. You're going to download that, and if you're a student, you can sign right in. You can actually use your credentials to sign in, and that gives you access to all the events on campus. It gives you access to your course schedule. You can book your classes. You can see your MyGWC. And then we also have a campus wall. So a little bit like Facebook, you can actually post messages, photos, connect with classmates. You can even reach out to faculty and staff. They'll answer your questions from the app. So it's really an online community. It's Golden West College on Android or iTunes. Download it today. Join us, and then you'll be a part of this. Right now, we've got students doing a pump, pass, and kick contest out in the field for halftime, thanks to Chick-fil-A. And then we've been giving out prizes, and I'm about to hand out some more, I think, Chick-fil-A vouchers. So really, knowing this information, you can have a lot of fun out here with us.
What's next? What's next as we continue to progress and expand this?
Yeah. So in terms of football, we're going to keep coming out every Saturdays, but just on campus, I know that ASGBC is hosting a Halloween party on Tuesday night. I'll be there. Come out. They're hosting a costume contest. You can come win some prizes. But in the future, they're actually going from the fun social stuff to also a really fun event called Town Hall. That's when we put your executives, president, vice presidents, administrators like myself up on the stage, and you can fire at will, ask us any questions you have, and we're held accountable to telling the students what we're doing to serve them. And that event has been an ongoing tradition, I think, for 10 plus years, held every fall and every spring. It's going to be in the Student Center on Thursday, and so come on out for that. Make your voices heard. And then Council's going to be hosting a little event in December. It doesn't work with the weather, but it's called Cocoa with Council. And that's going to be in December, where you can do the same thing, but with your student government. Ask them questions, learn more about the opportunities, and they're going to try to recruit you. We want you to be involved. join student government, because the more we have you involved, the more we hear your voices, we know how to better serve students.
Cocoa isn't hot cocoa?
Hot cocoa.
Oh, it's
that's
always
right.
a good time for hot cocoa.
Always hot cocoa.
No matter what the weather, no matter what the weather is. Quickly before we let you go, just your thoughts about this first half, this game so far.
Rustlers look good. Rustlers look real good. I thought it was going to be a blowout. We had them 20-0. They let one slide, but what I liked is that defensive effort at the end to stop them from really hitting the red zone. What I expect to see is another 20 points. I want to make this 40-7. We'll see what happens.
Make sure you guys go get that Golden West College app available on Android and also in iTunes, the Golden West College app. Frank Sirioni, the Director of Student and Leadership Development here at Golden West College, joining us at the half. Frank, thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having me. It was a
here.
lot of fun.
Cool shirt once again, my man. Thanks so much for joining us. Halftime here. We'll step aside. Nathan Percy will be back with me on the other side of the break as we'll break down the first half stats and also give you some scores from around the SCFA on this 4th Saturday in October as you're watching Golden West Western football right here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Go Rustlers.
Welcome back to Golden West Field. Some of the players starting to make their way back onto the field out of the locker room at halftime. Rahshaun Haylock here alongside Nathan Percy. Special thanks once again to Frank Sirioni for joining us here at the half. Let's go over some first half stats for you. Total yards, 294 to 148 in favor of the Rustlers. Rustlers 2 of 7 on third down. OCC 1 of 7 on third down. 1 4th down conversion for the Rustlers. They're 1 of 1. OCC 0 of 1. And Rustlers were 1 for 2 in the red zone. OCC 1 for 1. In the running game, Johnny Buxa had that 1 carry for 16 yards, and he's actually the leading rusher for the Rustlers. As a result of that, Nathan West had 12 carries for 23 yards for the Pirates. Bailey Wolf had that 1 carry for 29 yards back in the first quarter. Remember, that came on a end around, and by way of that, he is the leading rusher for the Pirates. West in the passing game, 6 of 14, 76 yards. DeMazier, 3 catches, 49 yards to lead the Pirates. As for the Rustlers, Sheldon White, 4 catches, 42 yards to lead the Rustlers. Jones had 3 catches for 44 yards. Mouton, 2 for 44. Ratsliff, 2 for 21. And Joe Powell, 15 of 18, 231. And he tied his season high with 3 touchdown passes in that first half. You take a look at the stat sheet, Nathan, what sticks out to you?
Joe Powell's efficiency. He's been equal opportunity with all of his receivers today. He hit 8 different receivers in that first half. Not only was he efficient with the football, he made excellent decisions, and I think the first drive was a perfect example of that, where he checked his options and then went with the flat route to the outside a couple of times to his running backs and ate up some yards that way. That drive ended up with a touchdown. But you talked about it as well in the first half, is that they're really expanding the RPO, the run-pass option, with Joe Powell. And I think it's because the coaches are starting to trust that he's developing in terms of his decision-making, in terms of his route reading, and knowing where to throw the football. And he's really making that look good on the decision by those coaches, especially early in the first half. Now, towards the end of the first half, they tapered off a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see how they come out on this drive. But I think that was the most impressive thing, was he was making the right reads, making excellent decisions, and really spreading the ball around to a bunch of different receivers in that first half.
Elsewhere around the SCFA this afternoon at the half, Fullerton on top of Palomar, 35-10. That game down at Escondido High School. RCC over El Camino, 24-13. That one in the third quarter. And our game here at the half is 20-7. Those are the only 3 games going on right now. A bunch of games later on today inside the SCFA. So there'll be 15 more games to be played once this Saturday is done, including Hancock at Pierce at 4 p.m., Santa Barbara at Citrus at 4 p.m., San Diego Mesa at Desert at 6 p.m. Of course, right here on SportsNetUSA.net, you can catch LA Valley at Antelope Valley College. And a little bit closer to home in the Southern Conference, Grossmont will be at Saddleback tonight at 6 as OCC kicks it off. Markel Johnson will take it 7 yards deep in his own end zone, and we're underway here in this third quarter. Johnson, probably not the best idea to return that one outside of the end zone after it was kicked so deep, as he gets it to about the 10-yard line. Valdez, Mouton, and Deese all caught touchdown passes from Joe Pyle in that first half as they went up to a 20-0 lead. And 13:07 left in the second quarter. OCC got on the scoreboard for the first time on a 4-yard touchdown run from Nico Jackson. Pyle actually start at the 9. Pyle quickly to Hargo, and he makes a nice catch outside the numbers at about the 13-yard line.
Well, make that receiver number 9 on the afternoon for Joe Pyle.
There's a little bit more breathing room. I think that spot opposite of Braylon Mouton has somewhat been a revolving door the last few weeks. Derek Deese was holding that spot down, but coaching staff has elected to look at some other options as Sheldon White is hit immediately. A big hit there, and a nice job defensively by the Pirates, and that was Ebanks, the sophomore out of Canoga Park, making that tackle. Nice open field stop there. Nice wrap up, a little 7-on-7 crime there. And brings up a third down, actually a loss of yards on the play.
That's a couple of times today where the receiver on the outside has not done the best job of blocking, and Ebanks able to easily get around them.
See that amoeba defense for the first time this afternoon. Pyle rolling, and this one incomplete. And that was very close to being an intentional grounding. If it were, that would have been 2 points for OCC, but Pyle, that one barely got back to the line of scrimmage, and he barely got out of the side of the tackle box. So first Rustlers drive of this second half results in a 3-and-out. Enter Saul Rodriguez.
Yeah, Pyle just barely got that one over the line of scrimmage.
Wojciechowski deep to return this one. At his own 40, steps up to the 35 and makes the catch.
This ought to be interesting because in the first half, these two
right?
roles were reversed, where it was OCC that had bad field position to start off with and gave Golden West a fairly short field. Now OCC has the short field, and this is by far the best starting field position they've had all afternoon. We'll see if West and company can take advantage of it here against the boys in black.
They start this drive at the Rustler 35. First play is a handoff to Jackson, second level, and he's upended there by Posse, but not after a pickup of 12. Ahead to the 23-yard line. A first down and a little tempo being shown here by OCC.
A nice little first down run. Again, they didn't go with Jackson a whole lot in the first half. He only had 3 rushes for 20 yards, but starting to pick it up here.
They give it to Jackson again, and Avery Jones says there'll be no more of that as he gets there, and Silas Collins meets him there as well.
Damon Roberts also in on that stop.
Pickup of 1 on the play.
A good adjustment there by Golden West as Jackson tried to shift his way to the outside, but sealing up the edge there was Collins.
Play fake. West going to roll this side, throws on the run, and over the outstretched arms of his big tight end, Demasier.
On that one, it looked like he just kind of dug his toe into the field there and kind of tripped himself up as he was trying to make that throw, and so therefore it sailed a bit on him, but Demasier was open.
So this brings up that should be 4th down, right? 3rd down. So it is going to be a 3rd down.
Yeah, because the first down was to Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson got the first down on the first guy. Now they go empty. West going to keep it himself, and a nice job clipping him there. I mean, brushing shoulders literally with West, with San Jose, and that momentum was able to drive the Pirate quarterback to the turf. And now it's a 4th down, and now enter the kicking unit for the Pirates, and it will be Corey Lewis. Lewis, the sophomore, 4 of 7 on the season. His longest from 40. This one from 42. Left-footed kicker, low snap. And the kick is no good. On to McFadden, but he kicked it wide right. So the Rustlers get a break there after giving OCC prime field position to start this drive. They start at their own 35. They pick up 12 yards, and that's it.
And that was basically on one play as well. And that snap, unfortunately, was not very good. And the holder had to really put in a good effort just to try to get it upright, which might have been why that kick sailed right.
It messes up the whole rhythm.
Yep.
It really does. It's amazing. Ball almost dribbled there that time. Or slid, really, to the holder. Pile in the flat to Tavai. And he's able to get it to the 25-yard line. Tackle made on the play by Mata Afa. And this is a player that Coach Emerson was thrilled about for no other reason than the fact that homegrown talent right there from Costa Mesa. Anytime you can pluck and prod from that area, it's always a good thing. Much like we say here, whenever the Rustlers are able to pick players from the Huntington Beach area. Got a false start here against the Rustlers.
Mataafa's made a pretty good impact on this game, especially in the second quarter. Picked up a big sack on Joe Pyle and also nearly altered the direction of a pitch from Pyle to Tavai by driving back the offensive lineman. So Mataafa definitely a big man in the on the outside of the defensive line that head coach Nick Mitchell and his staff are going to have to account for here in the second half.
2nd and 13 after the penalty. 4 wide. Pyle finds Smith, and Smith gets it to the 29-yard line. He made one of the defenders slip there that time as soon as Smith made the grab, but Smith was unable to take advantage of the fallen Pirate. That was Carmichael, the linebacker that fell that time. But normally you see Smith be able to turn it up, but he looked like his cleats got a little stuck in the turf there that time. Still, it's going to be a pickup of 7. This brings up a 3rd and 6 for the Rustlers. 10:42 left in this third quarter. Ball at the G-Dub 29-yard line. Pyle looking near side, has Mouton wide open again, and there goes Mouton up the near sideline. See ya later. Touchdown, Rustlers.
And it was so subtle by Joe Pyle what he did. He moved his body to make it look like he was going to throw short, and that got the defender, the cornerback Anthony Dixon, to bite forward. That's what freed up Mouton up the sideline. Perfectly played there by Pyle, just to even look towards that direction, just to make the defender bite. And he's able to find Mouton wide open for what looks to be about a 70 or so, maybe 71-yard touchdown.
Extra point is good. 71 yards on the touchdown pass from Pyle to Mouton. And the second time they connect here today and find the end zone for Pyle. That's touchdown number 4, the new season high for him on the year. So after tying the season high last week with 3 at Palomar, he breaks it with 4 this afternoon, and we still got 10:25 left in this third quarter as the Rustlers have opened up the 27-7 lead here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Well, you wondered who was going to seize the momentum in this second half first, and after a couple of punts won by either side, and again, a penalty actually drove Golden West back to a 2nd and long, but Pyle was able to complete the pass to Smith. And then again, the great little look towards the short route. Open things up for Mouton, and Golden West looks like it's got the momentum right back where it wants it.
Wojciechowski on the return. A nice knee to the forehead of a Rustler defender. And he gets it inside the 35, and Some extracurricular activity after that play between Ramsey Al Sherman and Tim Brown of the Pirates. No penalty flag thrown, however. Pirates will take over first down and 10 at the 39-yard line, 38-yard line.
Yeah, Brown's a little lucky there that the officials weren't looking in his direction, because they definitely could have called something against him for keeping Al Sherman on the turf.
West will lead the OCC offense back out as they trail by 20 for the second time in this game. And I want to go back to Joe Pyle for a second if we can. I know Palomar's not saddled back, and I know OCC certainly isn't saddled back, as West, running for his life, throws it in the flat, looking for the tight end, DeMauziere, incomplete. Joey Maduena there on the coverage. But I feel like there's something to be said about the confidence he's showing now as a passer in the pocket. And go back to the last play. You mentioned it, partner. He looked off the defense and then came back to the other side and found Mouton wide open. He basically looked the safety off, and that's how Mouton was able to get wide open.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing this in the beginning of the year.
Right. No, and you can definitely see his progression as the season goes along. He's not running as much as he used to, although last week he did get 66 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. But he's really just, I think his decision-making, as we had talked about earlier, as well as his his ability to read routes and figure out what the defense is trying to do, I think those are the 2 biggest improvements he's made as the season has gone along. This is a guy who was thrust into this position because the 2 quarterbacks in front of him got injured in week 1, and he's taken on this responsibility, knowing that he's going to have to improve as the season goes along, and he's definitely done that to this point.
That last completion was from West to DeMauziere for 13 yards. First down for OCC at the 48 of Golden West. 9:51 left in this third quarter. They give it to Jackson, and Collins wraps him up from behind.
Jackson, for being a little bit of a taller running back, tall and a little bit more slender than some of the others, is doing a good job of running between the tackles, I think. He's only got, I believe, 5 rushes, but he's got to be around 30, 35 yards. And he's doing a good job of getting good yardage on first down.
6-yard pickup for Jackson as the second down play. The pass by West skips to the intended wideout. DeMauziere brings up a third down. And going back to Jackson, Kevin Emerson, about his tailback, said he's a top quality back and he likes to hit. Almost to the point where Emerson wishes he didn't like it so much because they want to keep him healthy and be on the field. You see the explosiveness. We're able to see it at times. We see it again right there. Nico Jackson into the secondary and beyond as he gets OCC into the red zone, down at the 18-yard line. First down for the Pirates with 9.5 to play here in the third.
Now, Jackson comes from El Toro High School down in that Coast View Conference where he's going to have to play the likes of Mission Viejo and San Clemente, so he's used to getting hit pretty hard.
Here's West on the zone read, and another nice job by these Rustlers defensively to just get a body on West.
Yeah,
they haven't been the most traditional tackles, but it's been a rub here or a shoulder here that's knocked him off balance and stopped him from getting those yards. That time it was Avery Jones. Pickup of 3 on the play. Second down and 7.
Good response here so far by OCC, and they are 1 of 1 in the red zone, so they can keep that efficiency.
Jackson, that first move was a gem as he gets to the second level and he's down at the 5-yard line. So a first down and goal now for the Pirates.
Boy, and he took off at least a couple tacklers before he was brought down. He had that little stutter step just behind the line of scrimmage to spring him forward.
West keeps it off the left side. And a pickup of 2.
Boy, Avery Jones has had his eye on
everywhere.
West. Well, especially when the quarterback runs, he always seems to be the first one there.
Jackson, a stutter step, reaches for the end zone, and he gets in. Nico Jackson with his second rushing touchdown of the afternoon. And the Pirates cut into this 20-point deficit.
Yeah, Jackson's going to be a key here as the Pirates continue to move forward in the second half. And you see that when they use him more frequently, they tend to have a little bit more success because now West can potentially open things up in the passing game. And Jackson right now picking up quite a bit of yards on this drive. And again, this makes up for the fact that James Rutledge has not been involved very much in this offense today.
This is returnable. Rustlers returned one last week for 2. They try to do it here. It's a big block, and here's some room. Can it happen for a second consecutive week? Up the near sideline is Sonatas. Judson Sonatas for 2. Unreal.
Unbelievable. And that was from the very back of the end zone. Finds a seam, some great blocking up front. And he's able to out-sprint a couple of linemen down the sideline to put a few extra points up for Golden West. So just as OCC gets some momentum with the positive drive that ends in a touchdown, again, Golden West comes up with a way to take it away immediately. And now they'll get the ball back as well. I believe the score should be 29-13 right now. And they've got it 27-19 on the scoreboard. That's definitely not right.
Yeah, by our count, it should be 29-13. But how about that second week in a row this has happened for the Rustlers? Last week it was Avery Jones returning it for 2. And this week it's Sonatas. He picked it up. I mean, he ran about as far as you can possibly run because it was in the opposite corner of the end zone. He came all the way back to the near side, picked up one key block, and he was gone up this near sideline for 2.
It's going to show up as 109 yards, but it's really going to come out to about 150.
Seriously.
I have a feeling.
And when he got right here to the 45, I was like, he's out of gas. How is he going to keep this up? But he continued to do so, and that's just got to be deflating for the Pirates. Big momentum swing here for the Rustlers. Just when OCC had an answer, you come back with another deflating play.
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly what happened on the kick by Lewis, but the ball didn't even get airborne. It was dribbled into the offensive line, and somehow Golden West was able to find it and decided, why not? Let's take a chance.
Here's Markel Johnson taking a chance. All right, check that. That's Xavier Smith, and he gets it out to the 15-yard line. Boy, fans, don't forget, Golden West Rustler Football on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Go to their website for today's deals on used cars, including Toyota-certified pre-owned vehicles. On the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Located at the 91 and Euclid, Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports high school sports, community college sports, and education.
Well, I have a feeling I know one of the questions you're going to be asking Coach Mitchell next week. Special teams. Extra point returns.
I mean, it was huge last week. Somewhat of a momentum changing play for the Rustlers, and here they are at it again. So the officials are conferencing, and they wave the flag. Bob Yoakum waves that yellow hanky. It's not a Rustler rally towel, but it looks similar to it.
It's a little bit smaller.
The Rustler fans, however, will take it as such and applaud the no call, if you will. 8:03 left, 29-13. Rustlers with the ball and the lead. Joe Pyle stays in there at quarterback. Takes the snap, looks near side, Hargo over the middle, incomplete.
Well, he was waiting for that route to develop there, and Hargo got a little bit of separation from the cornerback, but then the safety came in to help out, and that was probably the most dangerous throw Pyle has thrown this afternoon. But still, I mean, it was accurate. But a good job on the safety help there from OCC by Josh Nelson.
And Nelson and Atencio there on the coverage. 7:57 left in this third quarter. Judson Sonatas, how about that?
Golden West ever the opportunists on any extra point try.
Pile over the middle, Smith, and incomplete.
That looked like it bounced off the hands of both the receiver and the defender. On the coverage there was Andrew Smith. And Pyle on this drive has thrown a couple of balls into tight windows. Perhaps that OCC secondary making some adjustments here midway through the third quarter.
It was a similar thing last week with Avery Jones's return. It seems like everyone kind of stops for a second, except the ball carrier. Last week was Jones, this week Sonatas. Everybody's kind of caught off guard. They, in a sense, think the play's over, but it's not. Here's Deese with the catch on the jump ball and a couple of stiff arms out of bounds at the 45-yard line of OCC.
Wow. Great play there. Great way to stick with the play by Deese. The defender behind him was Andrew Smith. It looked like Smith had the better path to the ball, but Deese just kind of leaned into him and reached up with those long arms and made Pyle look good on that play.
Deese using that 6'4" frame.
He's good for a couple of great catches per game.
Yeah, second catch of the afternoon for Deese. Pyle. 1st and 10 from the Pirate 45-yard line. Pressure up his face. They set up the screen, pass caught. There's Tavon Valdez. Some blocking in front of him. A false step there forced him to run into the back of Brian McCann, his blocker. And so he's going to be taken down, but not before he picks up the first down. Inside the 25-yard line and down at the 27.
Yeah, I think if he had gone outside, he might have gotten a little bit more yardage there, but still a great pickup on first down. And again, just another type of passing play that Mitchell has been able to install into this offense with Pyle at the helm. And one of the other reasons Pyle is having so much success is these receivers are making plays.
1st and 10. All kind of time for Pyle, looking for Deese again. He unable to corral that one.
Careful there. There's a couple of words exchanged between him and Brandon Safford after the play, but again, Deese had the advantage there, just couldn't hang on to it. And Deese will come off the field for a play here as he's replaced by Mouton.
So Genesis Kalolo in there at right guard, Ofoloto Kuma in there at center. Remember, Jared Garcia left the game in the first half. We have not seen him return as of yet. That could be a huge blow for the Rustlers. Nowhere to go. A designed run that time for Pyle, and Daniel Garcia leading the charge, and he gets to the Rustler quarterback, and Garcia is slow to get up.
Yeah, he's back down on the turf again. He came out in the first half for what looked like a knee injury, and he just kind of blew things up on the right side of the offensive line, and that was exactly where Pyle was anticipating running the football. So once that kind of collapsed, there was really nowhere for the quarterback to go. So a great defensive stand by the defensive line, but once again, we hope that the injury is not too serious here to Garcia as he's being checked out by the training staff.
They're not administering really much help from a physical standpoint. Both the trainers are just standing over him, looking at him. I'm sure there's a conversation happening.
Right.
But normally you see them, working out a joint or a muscle or something, and it seems right now and he may just need a breath. It's a little banged up, however. I mean, you can see that he didn't get up easy by any stretch of the imagination.
It's hard to tell exactly. Yeah, you're right. It's hard to tell exactly what's going on with him. Maybe he could just be fatigue, and
he's been playing hard. Today.
Yeah,
we've gotten a break with this weather today.
Oh, no kidding.
This week it's, of course, if you were watching the World Series, you saw 103 degrees game 1. That was at 5 p.m. That was on Tuesday, and it's progressively gotten a lot cooler throughout the week, and just a beauty of a day here today in Huntington Beach. Hitting the 6-minute mark here in this third quarter as Garcia is off the field. Pressure coming. Pyle Throws it up top. Xavier Smith, nearly an over-the-shoulder catch. Falls incomplete, however. It brings up a 4th down.
But you see the touch on that throw. I mean, Xavier Smith will probably come back and say that he had a shot at catching that one. Pyle just put it only where he could grab it and pretty much had it, if not right in the hands, maybe a little bit further. But, boy, he just lofted that up with such touch that Xavier Smith, if he does come down with it, that's more than likely 6 points.
It just looks like a different quarterback, Joe Pyle.
Absolutely. Much improved.
It's going to be a short kick. And dangerous catch there on the return made by Wojciechowski. Next Saturday, these Rustlers will be back in the San Diego area to take on the Grossmont Griffins. 1 p.m. kickoff. Audio only for that one. And concurrently, that game will run with the Fullerton College Hornets returning to the field to host OCC. 1 p.m. kickoff for that one as well. And we'll have it all for you here on SportsNetUSA.net. They go with the end around once again. Here's Wolf on the outside. He's pushed out of bounds at the 39-yard line. That play has been a successful one for the Pirates today. They ran it back in the first quarter. And here they go with it again.
Yeah, not quite as effective this time around, but still enough for a first down and a good opening play for this drive here for the Pirates, who are down by 16.
Ball at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10. Jackson.
Well, he just finds a way to fall forward for an extra yard or two just about every time he touches the ball. And this time around, he bowled over. Looked like one of the safeties just a little bit in order to get up to the 45-yard line. It was Joey Maduena who was first to meet him at about the 44-43.
2nd and 4 after that gain of 6. Pirates on their own 45-yard line as we approach 4.5 to play here in the third. This 50th annual Battle of the Bell. Pass thrown out to Wolf. It bounces to him. Catches it on a hop. But the ball's blown dead. Can't do that, Bailey.
It's not a ground ball to the infield.
No. Had it been thrown behind the
Yes.
line of scrimmage now, that would have been a possibility. But that one thrown in front of him. Brings up 3rd down. Jackson gets the 3rd down carry, and he's stuffed.
It's like Rudy San Jose, the man who landed on top of him, who might have stood him up there at the 47-yard line.
Don Anderson in there. Sagapolo as well. James Baldwin the third getting up off the bottom of that scrum. Just a swarm of black stopping the Pirate tailback. Brings up 4th down. Markel Johnson will park at his own 16. Bartolik will boot it away, and he got a leg into this one. Johnson. Oh, what a sidestep. Oh, look at 9 go. Markel Johnson ahead to the 30-yard line. A nice return. And you see how he can be so dynamic in the return game. Don't forget, Freeway League football returns to SportsNetUSA.net on Friday as Fullerton will take on La Habra. 7 p.m. kickoff. Audio-only broadcast right here for you on your home of Freeway League football, SportsNetUSA.net. La Habra getting things done. They're up with essentially with the big boys in Division II now.
Yep.
You got to tip your cap to what Coach Mazzotta's done over there through the years.
So there aren't very many coaches who can say they've won 7 CIF titles in 20 seasons.
Sustained excellence as Mouton gets the 1st down catch. Fights for a couple.
It's going to be a tough road for them, however, because they're in the same division as Upland, and the two of them played in week 0, and Frank Mazzotta said that was possibly the best team he's played in all of his 20 years at La Habra, and that's saying something.
That is saying something. They've had some battles with some good Los Al teams and some good Mission Viejo teams as well. Here's Rhino Tavai off the left side. Tavai across midfield.
There's a flag at the 39-yard line of Golden West. But other than that, I mean, that's got to be the best run we've seen from Tavai in a little while. Unfortunately, it's going to be all for naught.
Yeah, 19-yard run is negated, says Bob Yoakum, our white hat today. 3:08 left in this third quarter. It's been a well-officiated game.
Oh, absolutely.
For the most part, I mean, no qualms with the guys today. Under 3 minutes left in this third. Some disorganization for the Rustlers offensively. Finally get it together. Four-man front for the Pirates. Mouton catches. Turns upfield. Nice move to get around one guy. And across the 40 down at the 42-yard line. A first down for Golden West. You can move those sticks once again. Braylon Mouton perhaps having his best game as a Rustler today.
Yeah, absolutely. He's made quite a few good catches, including the big 71-yard touchdown catch earlier here in the third quarter. And, boy, you just see the extra effort there by Mouton just to make sure that he gets the first down. This offensive unit is committed to keeping these drives going. They've been doing a great job today of pushing for a few extra yards on just about every play.
Mouton out of Pearland, Texas, the transfer from West Texas A&M. The give goes to Roper on first down on the left side, and he stopped for no gain. Under 2 to play here in the third.
Oh, good job there by OCC. That right side of the offensive line, Mataafa over there, helping with the tackle. One of the few times that we haven't seen Golden West able to push forward for yardage today.
2nd and 10. Pyle over the middle, wide, juggling.
Boy, it looked like he had it in his grasp the first time. Might have taken a misstep as he was bringing it in, but either way, it popped back out. Pyle has made some great throws today, and again, he's very efficient. His completion percentage has to be high, but there have been a couple today where it looked like the receiver had it and probably should have had it, and has not been able to hang on. So this will be a decent test here for Golden West. 3rd and 10.
Ball at the Rustler 42-yard line. 1:20 left in the third. Amoeba defense from OCC. Pyle, all kinds of time over the middle. Ratcliffe, a first down and more inside OCC territory. And down at the 41-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup. Ben Ratcliffe, the transfer from the University of San Diego, with the grab. And Pyle, patience in the pocket once again.
He went through at least 2 reads before finding Ratcliffe.
At least
going towards the far side. So great job by Pyle, not allowing the pressure to get to him and staying in the pocket.
First down, plays a screen to Tavai, and in and out of the hands of the tailback. Thrown a little bit too high from Pyle. 2nd and 10.
Well, you got to wonder where Pyle's at in terms of the yardage. He's definitely in the mid-300s. Wondering if we could potentially see 400 out of Pyle this afternoon.
Why not? He is having himself quite the game. Tavai, the lone back, 4 wide receivers. Pyle, pass caught, Sheldon White, another first down. Out of bounds inside the 30 at the 29-yard line.
Great job there by Pyle, and a great throw with the defender tailing White. Pyle had to get it in the right spot. White able to make the catch and then turn upfield for a few yards afterwards to get that first down.
Pickup of 12. And that play is going to be the last play of the third quarter as Pyle in the offense content to watch time tick away here on the third. And what a performance by these Rustlers offensively. At the end of 3, Golden West 29, Orange Coast 13 as you're watching Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. True story. Down in Palomar last week, game went a tad long. Maybe a few more penalties than we expected. So you head down the 5 and you run right into Raising Cane's. And I was so thankful that the fine folks of Raising Cane's were still open right there at 3150 Harbor Boulevard in Costa Mesa. Walked in, ordered the box combo, 4 strips, crinkle cut fries, the fantastic Texas toast. Coleslaw was so good I had to order another extra side just in case. And it was phenomenal. Rustlers got a win. I got a win. My belly was full. All thanks to the fine folks at Raising Cane's. Don't call a timeout. Make the right play and score some fresh, never ever frozen chicken fingers on this drive with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. Tasty sides like the grade A crinkle cut fries that I just mentioned, that Texas toast, which is to die for, Nathan Percy, and the fresh made lemonade all over that signature crushed ice. Love the crushed ice. Raising Cane's, 3150 South Harbor, just south of Gisler Street in Costa Mesa. Raising Cane's, where game day never tasted so good.
Is that where the phrase win-win came from?
Might be. I felt like it last week. Mouton, the intended receiver, that one just out of his reach. Wind's starting to pick up out here.
Yeah, we got to start watching our equipment.
Seriously. Our monitor resilient, I must say.
Yes, yeah.
They flip fields here to start the 4th. Second down play from the 30. 2nd and 10 for Golden West. Inside OCC territory. Pyle with one back, 4 wide. Steps up, pump fake, over the middle, wide open is Deese. Across the 20, Deese, a high step at the 10. Derek Deese in the end zone. Touchdown, Rustlers.
Well, Pyle got it started by making the right read and using the pump fake to his advantage to free up Deese just a little bit on the short route. Deese, being an athlete, just did the rest right there. High step the defender. I believe that was Anthony Dixon that he stepped over in order to get into the end zone. If I remember correctly, I believe that's his second touchdown reception of the afternoon.
And number 5 for Pyle as the extra point is good. 36-13 our score here at Golden West Field. As the Pirates' introduction to the Rustlers on-campus facility has been unkind, and Nick Mitchell's bunch would have it no other way, as Rustlers looking to win this rivalry game for the 6th time in the last 7 years. We mentioned earlier the 50th edition of this game. Rustlers hold a 27-21-1 advantage all time, and a huge part of that is a credit to Nick Mitchell and how he's really taken it to heart to own this rivalry during his tenure here as the Rustlers head coach.
Well, they're certainly taking a hold of it with this game here today. How about Joe Pyle just improving every week? 5 touchdown passes this week, accounting for another 5 scores like he did last week against Palomar. And it's safe to say that momentum just carried over into this one here this afternoon.
Wojciechowski from his own 5. A nice stutter step to get across the 30. The pile still moving, and Wojciechowski inside the 35 and down at the 37. So nice run back there by Daquan Wojciechowski for OCC.
Looked like, again, Golden West was more interested in trying to strip the ball away than they were trying to bring Wojciechowski down. And both times that that's happened, OCC has been able to tack on at least another 10, 15 yards.
And you've seen this team quite a bit this season. These last few weeks has had a limited role. How does it appear to you that he's responded? I mean, obviously, it's easy to say with the 2 touchdown grabs that he's made today and the one last week, but his movements, what does it look like to you? Get that in a moment. Wolf on the wide receiver pass to Rutledge, and Markel Johnson is there on the coverage. They tried that for the second time today, and for the second time, it falls incomplete. What about Deese, though?
Well, this team overall, Deese included, just seems like it's a more determined bunch, and maybe that's because their backs have been against the wall in terms of trying to make it to a bowl game. But you see Deese making the extra effort after the catch to try to stay on his feet and get into the end zone. I mean, you've seen that out of Mouton today. It just seems like a more determined bunch now that they know what they're up against.
Pass caught on the far sideline. And that reception complete to Brandon Haley. Haley, his first grab of the game, reception number 11 on the season for the sophomore out of Yorba Linda. There is a Pirate down on the turf, however.
Yeah, it's Zach Ayler once again. He was down earlier in the first half, I believe during an extra point attempt, and came off the field. He's back down there again here in the second half. So on both sides of the line, OCC has had one guy who's just not having a good go of it from a health standpoint. On the defensive side, you had Daniel Garcia, who's come off the field twice with what appeared to be a minor leg or knee injury. And we'll have to see what's going on with Ayler here as he's being attended to. But going back to your point about Deese, you know, I mean, just in general, when you have 8 or 9 receivers making plays, you know, it's definitely been a full team effort today, and you can just see the extra determination, whether it be trying to reach a bowl game, rivalry, that could be a big reason why as well. But either way, it just seems like, you know, a bunch today that's just going to fight for everything they can get. When they think they've reached their limit, they're going to try and get a little bit more.
And of course, we don't know the specifics behind that in terms of, you know, the different targets today. Is that just John Shipp calling other guys his number, or is that actually Joe Pyle, you know, not committing to locking on to just 1 or 2 guys and willing to, you know, share the love, or perhaps it's a combination of the two. I mean, we're not in the quarterback room throughout the week, so we can't really answer that question. But it shows it shows a lot. It shows a lot in the play calling. It shows a lot in the quarterback play of number 16 Joe Pyle, as Ayler is going to be helped off by a couple of teammates, but he's obviously laboring on his way back to the OCC sideline.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a combination of the two. I think early on you saw Joe Pyle throwing to different receivers that we hadn't seen much of earlier in the season, like Kevin Jones. And then, again, the running backs as well, throwing it for a touchdown to Tavon Valdez early on is, you know, they tried to give some different guys looks, and then maybe OCC just kind of forgot, oh, yeah, there's Deese and there's Mouton who can also make plays as well. Sheldon White, of course, has been involved as he always is, but, you know, maybe those different looks open things up for some other guys, but you also see more than one occasion Joe Pyle going through his progressions and making the right read and finding the right guy. It was never more evident than on that last drive where he got that third down pass, I believe, to Ratzliff, who was his third, maybe even fourth option on that play, and was able to find him open for a good, I believe, 13, 14-yard gain over to the far side. So Joe Pyle has definitely done it himself as well, but I think early on the coaching staff wanted to get a few extra names involved.
And I think what's happened today, and this is no knock on Xavier, but the success and how much it's been able to be spread around, Xavier Smith has almost become a forgotten guy. And he's the leading receiver on this team as Rutledge finally is able to get free for a reception inside of Rustler territory, but there is a flag on the play. It's in that area of holding.
Well, Golden West also had a player trying to sprint off the field. It was Maduena. This one is holding. I was a little surprised that I didn't see a flag earlier for too many men on the field because that snap was taken when Maduena was still sprinting.
He's still a couple yards on the field.
So I'm wondering if...
I, like you, thought that the flag was going to come in. It never came in.
Well, that tells me that maybe there were only 10 players on the defense for that play for Golden West, or Emerson's got a but I'm not seeing Emerson getting to the coaches or getting to the referees about there being too many men on the field. So maybe Golden West got away with one there and played that down with 10 players.
Kevin Emerson, his 4th season at the helm. There's a timeout taken by Golden West. Emerson, his 4th season at the helm. Of course, we crossed paths originally when he was the head coach at Citrus College. He moved on from there to San Bernardino Valley and was the predecessor to John Shipp, who eventually took over that job. From San Bernardino, he came over to OCC, and since he's gotten there, it's kind of raised the bar in a sense of players that are getting out and going off to 4-year schools. But there's also been some of the blemishes as well as this season, OCC, for the 2nd straight year, it was a 2-year ban, a 2-year postseason ban. I guess the good news for them, they probably wouldn't qualify anyway. But had they been eligible, they wouldn't be allowed to make it to a bowl or postseason game this season. And it's been a lot of talk and a lot of reports, over the last couple of years, just about some of the infractions that have taken place within that program, which has caused the 2-year ban. So trying to turn things around, trying to right the ship. He's a firm believer in what he can accomplish there at Orange Coast College, given the facilities and the location. Thinks he can turn that program into a winner as West scrambles out of bounds, short of the original line of scrimmage.
It's got to be hard as a head coach when you know and your players know that you're not going to be eligible for a bowl game, to keep them motivated as the season goes along. Maybe try to fight for a league title, something of that nature, but you have to imagine that keeping the motivation for those players, knowing what the result at the end of the year is going to be regardless of how well you do, has got to be pretty tough. And, Emerson has got to feel confident moving forward that he can get a little bit more out of his players when there is a reward that could be had. And this was a guy who...
Blocked! The punt is blocked by the Rustlers, and it's going to be scooped up. Nearly another special team score by Golden West.
Looked like it was Justin Parker who was trying to run it in for the touchdown. I'm not sure who got his hand on it to block it initially, but Parker was the one who scooped it up. Golden West is... I
guess we'll have to talk to Coach Mitchell about teams. Well, actually, you got the game next week. You're probably going to have to...
Yep.
It's probably going to be a huge topic of conversation with you and Coach Mitchell.
Well, it's amazing to see you go from 2 weeks ago against Saddleback where they couldn't get a punt off, and now on the other side, the next 2 weeks, they've got 2 extra points returned for touchdowns, and now a blocked punt of their own that sets them up with great field position.
Rustlers will have it at the OCC 20. Too many men on the field that time for Golden West. So Deese runs off. End around. Xavier Smith, we were just talking about him, tries to turn the corner there, but a nice job to cut off the edge that time by Shull, the linebacker.
Yeah, and he got a little bit of help there from Kenny Carmichael as well, but Shull was the first man to get there. And the end around not working as well for Golden West as it did for OCC.
12 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Rustlers in control. 4 wide for Pyle. Tavai in the flat, picks up a block by Jones. Tavai up the sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds just shy of the goal line. How about that block there, though, by Kevin Jones? So we talked about him in the passing game, and there as a pass blocker there that time, helping spring Tavai for the rack. Tavai, you got to find a way to get in the end zone.
Yeah, exactly. Going up against, I believe it was Nelson who shoved him out of bounds, the safety for OCC. But Kevin Jones, great block on a day where we haven't seen the best blocking from the outside wide receiver position on those plays.
First and goal at the 2. Tavai walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Rustlers.
Again, it seems like anytime there's a big defensive or special teams play, the offense has been able to reward those units with touchdowns. This one's seemingly out of reach here now, just about. I mean, with 11 minutes left, you never know what could happen. But
ring that bell, baby. Ring that bell. Extra point is good. Rustlers 43, Pirates 13. As you're watching Golden West football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. And if you are a member of the U.S. military with current active duty status or reservist, you may qualify for a $500 rebate toward the purchase or lease of a new Toyota at Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Retirees or veterans honorably discharged within 1 year of service and household members of eligible qualifying military personnel also qualify. More details at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Located at the 91 and Euclid, Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports high school sports, community college sports, and education.
I'm not sure who's operating the scoreboard today, but on Rodriguez's extra point, they actually took a point
away.
away.
It messed me up for a little bit. I was like, wait, what? Score should be 43-13.
I thought they had a home field advantage here.
Yeah, but we got Ed Ford.
Yes,
so
we do.
That trumps all.
Yes.
And he's right on top of things here. Ed Ford manning the controls. Van Vu providing the visuals. Rahshaun Haylock and Nathan Percy merely just running our mouths up here on a Saturday afternoon.
That's a good way to
Fourth
put it.
and final Saturday of this October. Man, where did 2017 go? Some serious football games coming up here for the Rustlers. Grossmont next week, as we mentioned. I'll tell you what, Brad Cagle, you're going to get a chance to see him next week. About one of the fierce competitors I've ever seen this Rustler team play. Just his ability to essentially to not lose last year was amazing to watch. As Grossmont came down to LaBard and upset the Rustlers last year and really threw a wrench into things, as with that win over Grossmont, they would have at least tied for the league championship, but it ended up being boom or bust after that loss. They lose to Grossmont, and you end up having to play Fullerton the final week of the season at your Belinda High School, and if you win, you're in the playoffs. If you lose, you're going home. Nothing in between.
And
one of the most insane things.
Fullerton is not necessarily the team you want to play with that on the line.
Yeah, and this year they're probably 2 or 3 times better. There's an injured Pirate down on the field. But that was the story of last year. Coming off of a big win against OCC in which you were able to regain the bell. You're able to get the bell back. And then you slip up against Grossmont, and that really threw a wrench into things last season. And you give the credit to Cagle. Talking to head coach Mike Jordan prior to that game, I remember distinctly him just talking about just how competitive his quarterback was and just how much he enjoyed coaching them. And I mean, you hear coaches talk with their players all the time, but then to actually see it on the field, I mean, it was amazing. Injured player there is the center, P.J. Falani, freshman out of Seattle Urban Academy.
This offensive line has been beat up by Golden West's defensive front. It's been physical all day. There's a new quarterback in there for OCC. It's
that's Aiden Hour.
Aiden Hour's in there for Nathan West. Had started the game. West coming off the field helping with Filani's helmet.
Aiden Hour, sophomore out of Judge Memorial in Utah. He's completed 67% of his passes this year, 371 yards and 4 touchdowns. This the 6th game that he's played in so far this season. Pete Mitchell had played in every game up until today. We have not seen him. We didn't hear anything about him not playing today. He's coming off a game in which he had a season high in yards, 249, to go along with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was warming
against Grossmont.
He was warming up with Hour before game time, so wondering, just a little curious as to if something happened with him or if this was just a decision by Emerson to give somebody else a shot at the start here today.
Hour's first pass is a completion to Walker. Aiden Hour led his Judge Memorial football team to a state title in 2014. And one interesting thing about that game, Hour, the starting quarterback, didn't complete a pass in the game. He threw just 1 pass, but the team rushed for a state championship record 536 yards. And one of the most lopsided games in Utah State Championship history.
Well, that sounds like a late 2000s Tustin team here in Southern California. They had Anthony Wilkerson.
Anthony Wilkerson.
Ended up going to Stanford, and I don't think they ever won a title with Wilkerson running the football. They did a couple of years later with Tyler Sudzinski. But Myron Miller back over at Tustin, they've got the same philosophy. They just run, run, run. They've got another stud at running back this year, Casey Carr III. So Tustin knows a thing or two about having quarterbacks like Aiden Hour who hand the football off, but now Hour here at Orange Coast College gets a chance to throw it around a little bit with Emerson as the head coach.
Hour, the transfer from Snow College in Utah. Set up a screen, almost a dynamic one-hand catch there by Jackson. Instead it falls incomplete. None of the Pirate quarterbacks are from California. Mitchell from Colorado, Hour hails from Utah, and Nathan West is from Washington, the state of Washington. So all 3 are transplants here in Orange County. 9:22 to play after 2nd consecutive incompletion by Hour. 3rd down. Looking for Rutledge, who got past Mitchell, but he couldn't hold on. Nice job by Howard to come up and dislodge the ball from Rutledge. As that one falls incomplete. Rutledge, that was about as open as he's been all day. He probably didn't even know what to do with it.
Yeah, you have to wonder if he just lost track of where he was going, or if he was just blindsided there by Howard. That's the 2nd big hit that Gaiman Howard has put on somebody in the ballgame today. Absolutely. And again, that ball just popped right out as Howard just kind of put the helmet in the perfect spot, just to the left side of the body, in between the body and the arm, just dislodged that football. But, yeah, a frustrating day here for Rutledge today.
Working on that description. Got that radio call next week. I see you. Nathan Percy, 47-yard line of Golden West. They spot the ball, 4th down, and false start against. Or actually, they call a timeout prior to that. The headlinesman here on the near side signaled a false start, but the Rustlers called a timeout prior to. So, timeout taken by Golden West. Their 2nd charge timeout, in case you're wondering. Orange Coast has all 3 of theirs remaining. And if they're going to do the unthinkable, those will probably come in handy.
They will definitely come in handy.
With 9:15 to play here in the 4th quarter. Rahshaun Haylock alongside Nathan Percy. Nathan will be on the call next week as these Rustlers travel to Grossmont College. 1 p.m. kickoff for that audio-only broadcast. Fullerton College Hornet basketball returns to SportsNetUSA.net November 8th. It'll be the Fullerton College Classic. The Hornets will take on Chaffey College at 7 p.m. right here on SportsNetUSA.net. November 8th. That'll be a week from Wednesday. So I want to give you a heads up about that one. It's basketball season right around the corner.
Oh, it's going to be November on Wednesday.
Yeah, it is. Halloween's Tuesday. I was like, wow, when did that get here? Here's Auer on 4th down. Over the middle, Jackson makes the catch, but it's going to be incomplete. Siliuta making a hit against Auer as he threw it there. Turnover on downs as Golden West will take over. And you got to imagine it's Johnny Buxa time, right? 9:09 to play here, up by 30.
You would think so.
Buxa played earlier, played just one series, though. But amazing he was able to sprinkle in one series, and Joe Powell has 5 touchdowns today.
Well, and yet in that one series, he still came out with the team high in rushing yards in the first half.
Yeah. That's true.
1 run, 16 yards.
Powell with 10 total touchdowns in the last 2 games.
8 of them through the air.
8 of them through the air. I hate to say it, but Christy Entramont-like numbers as Valdez
That's right.
turns the corner, gets the first down carry, and in fact, it is Johnny Buxa times. Buxa in there at quarterback. The freshman out of St. Anthony led St. Anthony High School in Long Beach to the Division X CIF title a season ago. The first title for the school since 1948.
It's almost a Cleveland Indians type drought.
Yeah. The Indians can only hope to have
yeah.
the type of success that St. Anthony's has had, especially after this year. Man, they go on that long winning streak and they end up winning 100 wins, and only to be ousted in the first round. Here is Tavon Valdez finding some more green and inside of OCC territory.
So a run there by Valdez as Josh Nelson is a little bit ginger and heading off to the sideline. He's had a tough game with some pretty big hits. One of them keeping Amata Tavai out of the end zone for a play, even though Tavai got in the next play on a 1-yard run.
This time last week, it was Roper and Charles Liepert getting the bulk of the carries. Valdez in there right now. He and Tavai have split the majority of the carries today, although Roper got some early action today as well. I have not seen Liepert today.
Well, they haven't really run the ball a whole lot today. I mean, the run-pass percentages have to favor the pass quite a bit today.
Oh, Buxa on the option. Keeper fakes the pitch. Johnny Buxa, St. Anthony High School alum, inside the 20 and down at the 15-yard line. How about that fake pitch? I'll show it to you, but I'm going to keep it myself.
Did he do it once or twice? He at least looked back twice to the running back, to Valdez. But great, obviously a great decision there by Buxa. He finds some room up the middle and takes it out to the outside. He's got some shiftiness and some elusiveness about him at the quarterback position. That'll make him a nice little threat as a change of pace. They want to try some different looks in the offense moving forward.
6:43 to play. 1st and 10, they mark it at the 14-yard line. Valdez gets the carry around the near side. Jones picks up a block. Valdez reaching towards that pylon, but he's going to come up just shy. He's out of bounds at the 1. You got to give credit to number 82 again, Jones. What a game he's having.
Not just from a receiving standpoint, but from being able to block downfield from the wide receiver position.
You got to imagine in the film session he's going to grade out pretty well after this one.
One would hope so.
I always like to talk to the coaches before the game about who graded well, who played well last week. And sometimes you'll be surprised by those numbers, and sometimes you'll be surprised the other way when it's just everybody's in the red. 1st and goal from the 1. Valdez up the gut and into the end zone. Touchdown, Rustlers.
Well, this has got to be their highest point total of the season now. Beating out 47 points last week against Palomar. You got 49 with the extra point coming up. And once again, that drive just efficient. They kept that one on the ground for the most part as Valdez and Buxa just ate up yards against this Orange Coast College defense.
Manny Cuevas to attempt the point after. A make here will put up half 100. And he couldn't do it.
And some extracurricular activities after the play, bringing a couple of flags as well. And that's the second time we've seen a football end up on McFadden. It's straddling the line between the 1 and 2 lanes going westbound.
Nice. Careful.
Yep. Last time there was at least somebody out there to pick it up and toss it back over the fence. This time it might be a while before somebody gets out to that football.
Bob Yoakum alerts us of the penalty, and it will be applied on the kickoff. Rustlers 49, OCC 13.
It's been efficient on all sides here for Golden West. Offense, defense, special teams, second week in a row with an extra point return for a touchdown, a blocked punt, set up a short field and a touchdown drive, and his defense holding OCC to 13 points. One turnover, I believe. Golden West scooped up a fumble. And that penalty against the Rustlers, the first of the unsportsmanlike category for Golden West all game. And you have to think Coach Mitchell is going to be thrilled about that. That was one of the things that he talked about before the game, was that his team might be the most
15-yarders.
Might have the most major penalties in America, is what he said.
This one going to be taken at the 19. Wojciechowski coming this way. And down at the 40-yard line. Special team stop made by Evan Baker.
Wojciechowski with the return. First down at the 40-yard line. First down, Orange Coast.
Well, Golden West looks like it's going to move into the upper echelon of the Southern League, improving to 2-1 with a win here today. And, of course, not too far off, Fullerton College taking it to Palomar 56-10. Almost as bad as a couple of weeks ago when Fullerton College hung up 78 points.
Unreal.
I believe that was against Grossmont.
Picked off. Far sideline.
Looks like Ford.
Justin Ford coming across the field. Picks up a block. Ford makes another man miss. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Rustlers. But there are 2 flags on the play.
Yeah, there's one at the OCC 27-yard line. The second one is at the OCC 18-yard line. But if it stands, it's a 65-yard return for Justin Ford. First interception for Golden West here this afternoon, and that just kind of puts a little cherry on the all-around game that we've seen from the Rustlers here today. Well, both penalties are going to go against Golden West. The first one was a block in the back. The second one is going to be the second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Golden West within the last few seconds of game clock. And that one's going to go against Ramsey Al Sherman, and that's going to negate the touchdown by Justin Ford. But Golden West will take over at the 42-yard line.
They get Ramsey Al Sherman.
Not that his was the only infraction, because, again, if it wasn't for his penalty, that touchdown would have been negated anyway by the block in the back. But Al Sherman was on the receiving end of what could have been an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in the first half.
There's a nice run up the far sideline. We talked about him earlier. That's Charles Liepert getting the carry.
Another flag down at the 37-yard line, however, and they're taking, believe that was Helaman Sagapolu off the field there, but they're going to get a hold against Kevin Jones, wide receiver who was on the right side of the formation on that play. This will back up Golden West to about the 47-yard line. So in all, about a 6-yard difference on the penalty from the original line of scrimmage.
.450 to play in this fourth quarter. They give it to Liepert again. And Liepert a speed burst and a spin. Looking like a ballerina out there. So light on his feet, close to a first down and shy of the 30-yard line.
Well, it seems like anytime Golden West gets penalized beyond the line of scrimmage, they find a way to get most of that yardage back the very next play. Great job of responding to those issues for Golden West. And now they've got a nice, easy, manageable 2nd down and 1 to show for it.
Liepert, the freshman out of Kansas City. They give it to him again, and Liepert, first down and more, just trudging for those extra yards. Actually used one of his own linemen to push off to spring himself forward for a couple.
Eubanks for OCC came away out of a small little pile there with the football, but the official said that Liepert was down before the ball came loose. Have to anticipate that Golden West is just going to keep the ball on the ground here moving forward. See if they can turn that into one final touchdown before this game expires.
Roper now in there as the deep back. Books are out of the pistol. High snap. They give it to Roper. Roper escapes and finds the end zone. Touchdown, Rustlers.
And you see it there, just the stiff arm, and he's got one lineman to beat as he heads toward the end zone, and he's going to win that foot race every time. Golden West just keeps adding it on here. 55 points with the extra point upcoming. I see you down there trying to find out when the last time Golden West had 50-plus points in a ball game was. As Rodriguez comes on for the extra point.
Kick is good. And for Roper, officially his first touchdown of the season. Officially doesn't have any carries on the year, but we know that's not true. He carried the ball a few times last week. Rustlers with 56 points. Their highest point total since October 24th, 2015, which they knocked off Santa Ana 54-7. Last time they reached the 50-point plateau.
Boy, this was a team today that came into the second half with just 43 rushing yards, and now all of a sudden here in the fourth quarter they are running all over the Pirates. Rodriguez ready to kick this one away once again with just over 3 minutes left here in the fourth.
High kick but short, and taken by Delmazier, the tight end, on a fair catch. So last time the Rustlers scored 50 points, it was back in October of 2015. Put up 54 against the Dons of Santa Ana.
Ball spotted at the 35-yard line. First down, Orange Coast.
And they put up 56 here today against this Orange Coast College team.
That had to have been when Santa Ana was still in the National Southern League.
Yeah, that was a little while ago. They've since gone down to the American Division.
They're having success this year. Last I saw, I think they were 5-2 or 4-3. Now we're back in at quarterback for OCC, through an interception on the last Pirates possession. This one out to the outside. Caught by Hal Walker for a short gain. Just a little bit short of a first down.
Puzzling that we have not seen Pete Mitchell today.
Yeah, that has been probably the biggest question, at least for us up here.
Here's Auer going to keep it himself. Stutter steps and a nice open field tackle made there by Ramsey Al Sherman.
Well, Auer knows a thing or two about running the football, coming from that high school program. Or again, in a state championship game, just one pass attempt, 500 plus total rushing yards. It's like Wojciechowski there on the run. Bowls his way forward, gain of about 5 or 6.
Daquan Wojciechowski, the 5'10 freshman out of Lawton, Oklahoma. Called his name a lot on special teams today, but first time he gets a carry as we approach the 1 minute mark. 56-13 the score. Auer going to let it fly, looking for Rutledge. Picked off by Markel Johnson. What a play there by number 9.
Rutledge is slow to get up after that too, favoring his right arm or his right shoulder as he gets back to the sideline. But Rutledge, when that pass was thrown, looked like he had a step or two on both defenders who were trailing him. But the ball thrown by Auer allowed Markel Johnson to catch up. He makes the leaping catch in front of Rutledge, and boy, it's just been a frustrating day for OCC's top receiver this afternoon.
Third pick of the year for Johnson. That's now puts him in sole possession of the team lead. And how about that? It almost looked like he baited Auer to throw that.
You have to wonder, because he does have the speed to catch up.
And he's not sneaky fast. Everybody in the building knows he's one of the fastest guys around. But that closing speed, which scouts at all levels talk about as you climb higher and higher into the game of football, as Roper gets the carry there.
Yeah, definitely on display on that play as he was covering. We were told that he might be covering Rutledge a little bit today, and now Buxa just taking a knee, and it looks like Golden West is going to be content just to run the clock out. Emerson's not going to use a timeout. But again, Johnson with the coverage. I mean, great closing speed, and look at Golden West here running towards that bell.
It's the tradition. Teams after the game, they don't shake hands, they run straight to the bell, and the winner gets to ring that thing as this one is officially gone final. And the Rustlers are going to be ringing the bell for the 6th time in the last 7 seasons as they knock off Orange Coast College here, 56-13. We'll step aside. Rustlers will ring the bell. We'll wrangle up some final statistics and give you some post-game analysis as you're watching Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. You hear the bell. They're going to be ringing that thing all night long here in Orange County. Rustlers, for the 6th time in 7 years, win the Battle of the Bell, and this one perhaps a little extra special considering it's the 50th edition of this one, and the Rustlers get the dub. 56-13, our final score here. Rustlers, a season high 636 yards of total offense on 74 plays, 298 yards of total offense for Orange Coast College. How about that fourth quarter for the Rustlers? 27-0. They outscore the Pirates of Orange Coast College. And in the passing game, Joe Powell, 28 of 39, 458 yards, and 5 touchdowns. I know it was a team effort, but we got to talk about number 16, Joe Powell. What a tremendous game for him.
Oh, absolutely. And he made no mistakes whatsoever. And of those 11 incompletions, a good number of them were drop passes, too. So his totals could have been even higher than that today. But he just put the ball where only his receivers could catch it. There was never really, except for maybe one throw, nothing really ever in danger of being picked off. Or tipped and picked off in any way. Pyle was efficient today. He got everybody involved. He had 9 different receivers that he hit. And, credit to the offensive line for giving him the time to throw the football as well. But he made some really good decisions, some really great reads today. And, we talk about his progress, and we've talked about it a number of times today. But he just keeps on finding ways to improve and move forward. And if he can continue this next week against Grossmont, Golden West could be in a decent position to try to get into a bowl game.
You see Coach Tags, Junior Tagaloa, exchanging some hugs and hand pounds with some of his former Golden West receivers. Tagaloa, the OCC alum, had his 30-year record broken by James Rutledge last week in terms of yards, single game yards. Rutledge with a huge performance last week. 229 yards and breaking Coach Tags' record. And Coach Tags was happy about it. First time he ever witnessed someone break his record that he was actually coaching. And so nice gesture by Coach Tags to stick around and say hello to some of his guys. There was a lot of season highs or guys that tied season highs last week. Similar story this week. Sheldon White, a season high, 6 catches. Braylon Mouton, a season high, 5 catches, a season high, 131 yards. And, of course, the 5 touchdown passes by Joe Powell, a season high, and also his yardage total in the passing game, 458 yards. First 50-point game for the Rustlers since October 24th, 2015, 54-7. They were able to knock off Santa Ana, but this is their highest point total since 2009 when they defeated San Diego Southwestern 56-10. That was back in the old American Division days. We're talking about this offense kind of coming along and improving. How do you bottle this up and take it down to San Diego with you next week?
Well, somehow they found a way to bottle it up from San Diego and bring it back up here today. So
rinse and repeat.
Yeah, exactly. I think as long as they keep the same mindset, again, they just seem like a very determined bunch here today. And, again, that could be part of the rivalry as well. But you would think that with the bowl game on the line or a chance at a bowl game on the line that they would come out a little bit more pumped up going down to Grossmont as well. Grossmont played OCC tough and came out with a 2-point win last week. And going down to Grossmont, much like going down to Escondido for Palomar, is never easy on a football team. But this team seems to have found something over the last 2 weeks where they're playing mostly mistake-free football. And that defense, boy, I tell you what, that defense. You talked about Rutledge having a record-breaking game last week with 229 receiving yards. This week, 2 catches for 26 yards against J.T. Thomas and Markel Johnson.
These corners are for real, man.
So, it's going to be tough for any opposing quarterback moving forward against this Golden West team when they're playing like this. And, that is going to be the biggest test, is just to bottle this up and take it back down. But they've done it from last week to this week, so it's definitely possible they can do it from this week to next week as they go down to Grossmont. But, just all phases today. All phases today. This has to be the most complete team effort, if not close to it, that Nick Mitchell has seen all season. given the blocked punt and the extra point turned into a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yep. This was just a great all-around game for this team, and if they can build on this and move forward with this, then look out. It could be a long day for Grossmont and El Cajon, but again, the biggest thing will be to, like you said, bottle this up and try to replicate it next week.
Partner, fun as always. Appreciate you stepping in and pitch hitting for Andrew King. Our thoughts and prayers, of course, are with him and his family. Don't forget, later on tonight, LA Valley taking on Antelope Valley, 6 p.m. right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Next week, the Rustlers will be down at Grossmont. You just heard the voice, Nathan Percy. He'll have the call for you, 1 p.m. Audio only right here on SportsNetUSA.net, of course, your home of Rustlers football. With the win, the Rustlers improved to 4-4, more importantly, 2-1 in Southern Conference play. OCC falls to 2-6, 1-2 in Southern Conference play. Special thanks to Frank Sirioni, the Director of Student Life and Leadership Development here on the campus of Golden West, for joining us here at the half. Ed Ford is our operations manager. Van Vu providing the visuals for you here on SportsNetUSA.net. Tony Altabelli, a special thanks to him, helping us up with stats up here in the booth. So, for my partner Nathan Percy and all of us here at SportsNetUSA.net, I'm Rahshaun Haylock saying thanks so much for watching. Rustlers ringing the bell for the 28th time in school history. They knock off OCC 56-13. You've been watching Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net.